Thank you for joining us for this impromptu live stream of Edge of Darkness. If you joined Rena and I last time for Love You to Death, you know we spent 16 minutes working out the technical kinks. We're going to try to bring that down to 8 minutes today. Just get a little bit better every time. I am going to test the music once again because I blasted it last time and it became a big problem. So I'm going to try the music. You can let me know if the levels sound good if you're on Twitch. And if it sounds good, then I might try to do some ambient music when things ratchet up later in the scenario. And with that, I think let's kind of just go around the horn and meet everyone who's playing today. We have a really cool group of players. I'll be keeping the scenario. This is Edge of Darkness from Chaosium's Call of Cthulhu starter set. I will say, just to lower expectations, that we decided to stream this less than 24 hours ago, and I had never read or heard of this scenario at that point. So, I spent most of my time on the Twitch overlays, because that's the kind of stuff I do. But I did read the scenario twice, so I feel pretty confident now. And I have great players, so they'll carry me. And Rena, she'll keep for herself if things are going poorly. But with that, let's go around the horn. Rena, welcome back. You're 100% on our streams so far, and just anything you have to plug or promote or how people can follow you would be awesome.
Hey y'all, I'm Rena. If you tuned in on Thursday, you remember me from our last live stream, Love You to Death, so you can rewatch that if you missed part of it, or you can watch the whole thing if you didn't see it at all. You can find me on Discord quite a bit on the Ain't Slayed Nobody server, the How We Roll server, and the Good Friends of Jackson Elias server, and the Old Ways podcast server as Romulan Rena. I hang out 24/7 pretty much. And you can see me on an upcoming arc on the First Watch podcast, a D&D podcast that's coming up in the next few months. I'm on the Mr. Corbett arc for Ain't Slayed Nobody, so that'll be coming out here fairly soon, so pay attention to that. And there's some other really cool things I can't tell you about yet, but keep an eye out, and I'll let you know when they happen.
Very cool. Rena, thank you so much for plugging the Ain't Slayed Nobody stuff that I always neglect to do. Appreciate that. And
you keep me around.
And we also have Unland, which is going to hit our main podcast feed on September 22nd. So very soon. That's a collaboration with How We Roll, and Scott Dorward kept that scenario for us. So check back for that one. I'm also very pleased to welcome Michael Diamond. One of the first podcasts that I ever listened to in the Call of Cthulhu realm was the Old Ways podcasts. And if you want like a better Call of Cthulhu feel for your podcast, then I highly recommend checking that out. Michael, thank you for joining us. I'm excited to play.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you having me along. So I'm Michael Diamond. I'm from the Old Ways podcast server. I am from the Old Ways podcast. I help run it with a great cast. And yeah, just happy to be here.
And what are y'all playing right now? I think you finished Masks.
We did not finish Masks.
Oh.
Masks is a campaign, so we are currently in Masks. So if you are a player or a keeper and you would like to see kind of the middle point between a slow burn Masks or a classic Masks, as it's called, and a pulp, that we are your middle road. So having a ton of fun in the now third season of the show.
Very cool. Sometimes I forget that Masks is almost the infinite scenario, and just
it can be a very long run scenario. So yeah, but happy to be here, and you repping my Stygian Fox friends by the way. So check them out on Patreon. Great folks.
Yeah, Stygian Fox. I've blocked your shirt with a broom, trying to get clever with my overlays.
No, it's okay. But
we'll post pictures later.
beyond the blocks, there is a wonderful fox here for everyone.
Very good. Very cool. Yeah, I've played 2 of their scenarios, and they were both excellent. So
yeah, they're awesome.
Very cool. They get a little bit creepier than we usually do, which is great. And finally, Owen, who I'm also meeting for the first time, friend of Rena and now friend of the show. Thank you for joining us, Owen. If you have anything at all to plug or promote, or feel free to do that now. You have an Etsy or something?
Maybe I should. No, I have no social media presence and nothing to promote. So, hi, I'm very happy to be here, and I hope everyone enjoys the show.
Good. You've just helped me hit that 8-minute goal that I set for myself for getting
Nice.
through everything before we actually dig into the scenario. Thank you again for joining us live. Feel free to drop a note in the chat if you can't hear somebody or you can't see the dice or anything like that. This is only our second ever stream, so we're still kind of working through the kinks. And to make things just a little bit more difficult, also working with almost a blind play of the scenario from a keeping perspective. So, but I like the scenario a lot. Reading through it, I think it's going to be tremendous fun. It's a little bit different than anything I've played before. So, with that, is everyone ready to just kind of jump into the action?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Sure.
Ready for some crazy.
Good. I'm going to put on music just because they said the level's good, and it could be completely inappropriate music for the scene, but we'll try it anyway. All right. Oh, this is good. I'm playing, you can't hear it. The players can't hear it. I'm playing very mellow music right now. And so as our investigators get ready to play this scenario, they have each recently been contacted by Bertrand Merriweather. He's an aging man that all three of them know, and you've known him for some time. He's a trusted friend. So if you wrote him into your backstory as an enemy, we can scribble that out right now. Merriweather is unwell, and he kind of seems like he's not long for this world to you. And he's asked to meet you at a place that you know. It's St. Mary's Teaching Hospital in Arkham. And he wants you to meet him there at 1 o'clock on Thursday. And you haven't seen this man for quite some time. So this urgent summons was a bit alarming to you. It seems like it might be something quite important. And given his age and the fact that he wants to meet with you at the hospital, you think that maybe he wants to tell you something before he passes on. And so we'll pick up the action at St. Mary's Teaching Hospital. And I always love to conveniently lump the investigators in arriving at the exact same time outside of a door. So let's assume you're outside of Professor Merriweather's door at the hospital, and you've all seen each other again, maybe for the first time in a while. And just give us a little bit of background on the characters that you'll be playing. And we can start with you, Rena.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm playing Dr. Nevada Jones, professor of archaeology. She has a habit of disappearing halfway through the semester for 6 months off to parts unknown and not turning back up again to do any final exams, any grading, any student meetings, or anything whatsoever, but she somehow still has a job at Miskatonic University. She's fairly tall. She's about 5'8", 5'9", very slender build. She's wearing dusty khakis. She always manages to look like she's just come off the Sahara or off some sort of adventure in Egypt somewhere. She's got a dusty brown fedora. She looks like she probably carries a couple knives around her somewhere, but you're never quite sure where. And she carries herself with an air of confidence and bravado as she marches through the hallways. She's got very dark hair, close cropped. She's got dark sparkling eyes and a very round face.
Very good. I'm going to say Nevada Jones every opportunity that I get today. It's a fun name. And very good. And how about you, Michael? Who are you playing?
So I'm going to be playing Louis Shapiro, or Louis Shapiro, probably Louis to his friends, or Lou. He is a complete transplant from the Bronx coming to Arkham. He's a former boxer who took up the mechanical trade work and then eventually worked his way back through school to get his degree. He's probably a little bit under 6 foot, slick black hair, a real chiseled jaw line, and it looks like he probably still works out pretty regularly.
Good. You remind me of the character that we played with. Rena and I just played a scenario live on Twitch. You remind me of Harry, if anyone had tuned in for that scenario.
I hope Louis is smarter than Harry.
Yeah, except that you're like a professor. Harry was an idiot. But yeah, physically, you remind me of Harry. Very good. And finally, Owen.
Alison Wentworth Avebury. I'm a vivacious Scottish lady in my late 50s. I'm quite stern and tight-lipped, and I would have preferred to be Nevada, to be perfectly honest, a lifetime spent exploring the ziggurats of South America and that. But unfortunately, as a respectable Scottish lady of the late 19th century growing up, it wasn't available to me. So I had my adventures vicariously through my study of ancient languages and the adventures of the gentlemen and ladies of the past.
Okay, beautiful. Very good. So the three of you have convened and exchanged pleasantries outside of this hospital door, the room of Rupert Merriweather. How would you like to proceed?
Nevada gets there first because she has a habit of being early everywhere and just dropping in when people are least expecting her. So she's walking up to the door when she hears the boys and Allie coming up behind her, like, "Louie, Allie, long time no see. Well, you're here in the shindig. What are you here for?"
Probably the same reason you're here.
Oh, right.
You're in good spirits.
Do you think maybe Rupert's a bit ill? Should we lower the tone a little bit, like hushed silence and that?
Never. Good dose of energy. It'll perk him right up.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what room we're supposed to go to?
Yeah, it's right down here. I point down the hallway.
All right, very good. So you approach the door. The door's closed, but you presume it's probably unlocked. It's just a hospital room, and you've already checked in with the front desk, and they said that he is seeing visitors, and he's expecting you in particular. Would you like to enter the room?
Yeah.
All right. Very good. You, Nevada obviously opens the door, and the three of you walk in together into the hospital room, and you see bedridden Rupert Merriweather lying there, and he's familiar to you, but he is quite sickly. He looks much more frail than last time you remembered him. And he's engaged with two other visitors who, being trusted friends of Rupert's, you'll likely recognize. One is his wife, Agnes, a woman of a short stature. She's in her 60s, and she, not surprisingly, looks very solemn. She's grief-stricken by Rupert's illness. And you also see, I think all three of you have probably had an encounter with this man at some point in your lives, most likely when he was much younger. This is Bertrand Merriweather, and you kind of know him as Rupert's sniveling little son, irritating little boy, and they're both sitting bedside with Rupert, trying to comfort him, and just based on his appearance and the summons that you received, probably in his final hours. And they notice you walk in, and Bertrand says, "Oh, great! Are these the visitors you're expecting?" "Yes, Bertrand. It's fine. Come in. Get close now."
"Rupert, old friend, it's good to see you. Perk up.
Oh, Nevada.
We have visitors."
"I brought you grapes and flowers. I'll just put them here."
"Oh, you've always been such a sweetheart. Thank you, Allie. I appreciate that."
"Oh, I brought you something." She goes digging around in her pockets. Oh, not there. Satchel. She goes digging through her satchel, throwing things out. Oh, and I brought you this, a little idol. I found it in Peru. I was in South America for the past 6 months, and I thought you might like this. Took it from this little platform. It was just above this altar thing, and I thought it would look great next to your bed.
"Oh, it's a lovely idol. Thank you so much, Nevada. You know how I love adventure. Oh, this does take me back. That's very considerate. And Louis, it's so good to see you, my friend."
Good to see you too. You feeling all right? You need anything?
"Oh, I'm doing as well as I could be. I'm here with my family and now with my friends as well. And speaking of which, if you will leave, if you're a member of my family, Agnes and Bertrand, please, if you'll exit the room. I just need to speak to my friends for a few moments here, in privacy, and then I'll tell you when I'm ready for you to come back in." "Oh, sure, they can stay. That's fine. It's fine, Bertrand. Let's go wait in the hallway." Yes. And then they, yeah, I'm already flexing all my NPC elderly voices. Now, everyone, Agnes and Bertrand, they file out, and Bertrand kind of turns and gives you a weaselly look over his shoulder, like, he acts exactly the way he did when you knew him when he was maybe 16 or 22, whenever that was. And Merriweather, you've gotten close to him, but he's gesturing you to come even closer. Come close, my friends. My voice is weak. My hearing's not what you remember. I'm not the man that I once was.
Step a little closer.
Thank you.
Get closer as well.
Thank you. Lean in, yes, even closer. And thank you, yes, to your monitor, to your camera. Thank you. Thank you for coming on short notice and for being on time. I must admit I did not expect you to be so prompt, other than Nevada. But thank you for joining me here. I know the smell of the hospital is an irritant to you, in particular, Nevada, so I do appreciate it. I need to tell you something of grave importance, and I've perhaps offered you hints about my past in our previous interactions, but this is serious, and I need to tell you much, much more than you know about my past. You see, in my youth, when I was a student, I and some of my fellow students became involved in what we believed to be a kind of fun and innocent exploration of the occult, as many explorations of the occult are. And the leader of our little group of 6 students was a man named Marion Allen, and the 6 of us pooled our money, and we purchased an old farmhouse. It's just a few miles west of Arkham, and it's near the village of Ross's Corners. You may be familiar with that, having been at Miskatonic for quite a while. So we would go to this farmhouse, and what we would do... Don't judge me. I see you judging me. We went to the farmhouse, and we would conduct seances. And we were just dabbling in the occult, and you know how passionate I am about research and always trying to push the envelope. And it's a part of who I am. And I wanted to conduct these seances. We wanted to do this physical research in privacy, so we have this remote farmhouse that we've all purchased. Alas, our work became more serious than we ever expected and had unforeseen results. Our last ever experiment with the occult, summoned an evil force into this world. Instead of attempting to expel the thing, we were afraid, and we abandoned that old farmhouse. We were confident that the magic of what we summoned brought evil to this world, and that we could keep it contained in that old house, and that it wouldn't disturb this world, it wouldn't disturb anyone else, and maybe after a short time we could send it back to where it came from. However, I've since discovered that the spell that binds the entity to that old farmhouse, well, the spell only lasts as long as we all live, the 6 of us who performed the seance and summoned this entity. Sadly, I'm the last of our group, and I fear that upon my death this thing will go free and wreak havoc on the folks of Ross's Corner, and God, I hate to think just how far this could spread. I'm too old, I'm too ill, and I'm frankly too much of a coward to go back there. I have kind of a phobia of the farmhouse, if we're being honest. We need to banish this creature back to the world from whence it came. Being that I'm on my last legs here, I don't know what to expect, but I know that you 3, my old friends, my trusted friends, my companions, my colleagues, that you are the group that, despite my guilt, and I'm guilty of many things, despite my deepest sin of unleashing this thing on the world with my friends, unleashing this horror on that fateful night, I'm convinced that knowing that this entity will escape and present death to everything it encounters, that you 3 will take the charge and go back to the house. You'll go to the farmhouse, and you will expel this creature into the world from whence it came. Take the box. I have a box here. And he gestures weakly toward this. It's an innocuous-looking metal box that's sitting on the nightstand beside the bed in his room. And all the aid I have to offer you lies within this box. You must find the courage to send that thing back. You must see that this is done. It's my only request, my last request. If I've ever done anything for you that you think was valuable, you have to perform this task for me. Do this for me, please.
What's in the box?
Yes, the box is here. You're welcome to go through the box, to open the box. And as he kind of reaches over weakly toward the box himself, and suddenly he's choked by this spasm of pain. And the reach, maybe it was too much. It was a little too far, Nevada. So he reaches for the box and he just has this spasm of pain and yells out, "Oh!" And his wife and son come rushing back into the room, and Agnes is calling for a nurse. Nurse, we need help! Merriweather's room! And the nurses rush in too, and they're trying to hurry you all out of this room as you see this box sitting on the nightstand next to the bed.
I want to grab it and stick it in my bag.
Okay, good. So yeah, you're on your way out of the room. You're welcome to grab the mysterious box.
Yoink.
And you can also you do notice that in addition to looking quite frail, he has like black lesions on his neck and maybe part of his face. And you talk to the person at the front desk, and you were under the impression that he might be suffering from scarlet fever. But it looks like something different, something new, something a bit mysterious, and the spasm of pain. Unfortunately, you're gonna have to leave the room now. But it was just a little bit alarming to you, the way he presented. So you're in the corridor now with the box, mm-hmm. I assume.
Poor man. Do you think he's lost his mind?
I make the sign of the cross immediately. I don't know what Rupert's gotten himself into, but it sounds like whatever's at that house is out of hand.
Well, I think we should go check it out.
I'm not surprised.
At the very least, we should do it so we can tell him we've done it. Set his mind at rest.
Give him some peace, all that. Right, I'm driving. Marching off for the door.
Are you curious what's in that box?
I'm not going to look at it in the hallway where everybody could see it.
Nevada, not even knowing where the farmhouse is just there. She's
just magically pops up. There's like a screen with a map and a car driving through it, and it's like, oh, how did she know how to get there? She just did.
But yeah, you're welcome to go somewhere discreet to look at this, or you can pop it open in the hallway, whatever you'd like to do.
Why don't we get to the car and maybe we can look at it in the car.
Perfect. Yeah, I don't want to open it in the hallway because someone could elbow it, or we could run into somebody. Things could go flying.
Or it could have some pretty unsavory items in it that we don't want to wave around.
Also, yes.
Then they'll be in the car with you.
We open the box, we all die.
Yeah. Whose car are you going to then?
Well, I'm going to my car.
Yeah, I mean, I would assume if her car is there, we can just take hers.
Okay.
I don't think my bicycle is going to get us there quick enough. So
she's going to invariably end up getting in her car anyway.
Yeah.
So I figure we'll just roll with it.
That is an excellent point. Yeah, very, very good. So, so you all pile into Nevada's car. Nevada, you're in the driver's seat. Louis, where are you sitting?
Yeah, probably open the door for Allie, and then.
Oh, thank you. Always a gentleman.
Get into the back. It's fine with me.
Okay, so Allie, you're going to ride shotgun. You're going to be in the front passenger seat.
Sure.
Okay, and then Louis, you'll be in the back seat. Very good. So Nevada, you had the box. Are you the one opening it? Mm-hmm. Kind of in the center console, if they had those in the.
I don't think they did. But
nope, not so much.
But let's say
seatbelts on, everybody. Safety first.
But there would be a big bench seat.
Seatbelts
So
in the 1920s.
No seatbelts.
Good.
But there'd be a big bench. There's a lot of room to open the box up.
Good. Yeah. The bench seat. Yeah, that's a good idea. So you you pop open the box, and inside it looks like there's a letter, there's a yellowed envelope, and there is a mysterious gold box. It looks like an ancient thing to you. It's kind kind of sarcophagus-shaped box, and I can show you these items as well. I'll show our viewers these items. This is the first real tech test of the stream. So I'm going to open these things for the viewers first, and then pull them up in Roll20 so that y'all can take a look. Let's see.
Are we just leaving Allie's bicycle at the hospital then?
That's a good point. I think crime in
It's not
Arkham is
stolen.
down, so let's see.
Hide it behind some bushes.
Yeah.
It does have a particularly fancy basket. I'm a bit worried about it.
All right, I have it open on the stream, but let me open it in Roll20 so y'all can see it. Show it to players. And this is going to be hard to read for you if you're viewing the stream, so we'll try to hit the highlights for you. Rena knows I like to have long handouts that need to be read during a stream. I'd like to thank Graham Patrick, by the way. He sent me these handouts. He's helping me write a scenario for our game, but these are very, very helpful. So this is what you see. Can you all see this in Roll20?
Yeah.
Okay, so you've found a warranty deed to the farmhouse, a letter, and a key, along with a photograph of the farmhouse. And one of you is welcome to read the letter, or I can do it in my amazing Rupert voice, whatever you prefer.
I'm happy to read the letter if that's what you'd like.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. So, dear friends, in the years after the nightmarish events of that night in my youth, I have seen many things. Only now do I begin to grasp the truth of reality and the scene of what is happening in the world. I've tried in some small way to combat the horrors and make amends for my part in bringing that cursive is tough. Bringing one to our plane of existence. What I have left to offer, what riches and what wealth I have, I will put into good use in this dealing with these abominations. It is the very least this old coward can do. I could never make myself go back to that little farmhouse and put those events to rights. I too gravely feared that which my friends and I have loosed upon this countryside. Nothing of consequence has yet taken place, but with my death I fear the bonds will be broken, and that horror free to come and go as it pleases. Lives not yet taken already weigh heavy on my conscience. The method of delivering the thing out of this world is still in that accursed house. The translations made by Marion from the book, and I think Louis would probably struggle with the French wording here. De Vermysterious. I was never strong enough to take on the task, but I have hope that you are. In ridding this world of this, perhaps you will save my soul from hell. For I fear that my deeds have not been enough to release me from this heavy burden. I do not expect your forgiveness for what I ask of you. Rupert Merriweather.
Very good. So I'm so glad you read that, because I didn't know how to say a lot of things in that letter. So yeah, so that's the letter. And how do you? I'm assuming you read this out loud, Louis.
Oh,
to
absolutely.
Everyone? Yeah,
I would have read it out loud. I would have done it in the Italian accent. It's just with the it would have been tough.
Absolutely. How would you react to hearing this, Nevada and Allie?
Well, sounds like there's definitely something going on out there. Might as well check it out.
Oh, he thinks that there's something going on, but
Allie, if you'd seen the things I'd seen in the darkest places of the world, you would understand when someone like one of us says that there's something mysterious and occult going on, there is something mysterious and occult going on.
oh,
I know.
well, that's quite exciting. I've never been on an adventure before.
Oh, we will have many adventures. We'll survive this one, and then I'll take you off with me to Saudi Arabia in the next 2 weeks.
I think that the vermis mysterious means of mystery worms. Doesn't sound like an adventure.
Can I do an occult roll or something to see if I recognize that name? Is that something I would recognize with occult?
Yeah, you could give me an occult roll to see if you know
Okay.
anything about this.
Nope, I do not.
Okay, let me...
Probably good for you.
Sorry, I'm trying to fix the overlay that I've broken dramatically here.
My occult is really high, but that's still higher than my occult.
Yes.
Working on the assumption that that's Latin, which I don't actually know, but I'm assuming it is. Could I do a language check to see if I'd come across it?
Yes, you can do that. You could do that.
Okay. I think that's a pass.
Ooh.
Success.
Okay, so what is it you'd like to glean from the name? Just that you
Have I come across it before?
You know the nature
in
of
any
it?
context?
Yeah, so you are familiar with the name, and being a professor at Miskatonic University, you know that this would be part of their reserved collection. It is, you don't know really anything about the contents of the book, but you know that it's something to do with the occult and magic, as many things in the Orne Library's reserved collection are. And
Lou, have you come across that book before?
No, it doesn't sound like a manual to a Ford or a drill press, to be perfectly honest with you, dear.
No, probably not.
and I've
Does
hit
the
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Does
I was just going to say
does-
I've hidden the deed, but we can talk about what's on
does
there.
the deed have the address on it?
Yeah, so you know where it is. It has the lot number and tells you where that farmland is. And other items of interest from the deed are that you know the property. It's a farmstead. He talked about the farmhouse, but in addition to the household, to the farmhouse, there's a barn, there's a spring well, and there are 5 acres of land. So that was all included in their deed.
Well, we know where we're going. Does anyone want to stop, get any weapons before we go? Because it sounds like we've got some kind of big bad that we need to go shoot, stab, beat to death, whatever.
What weapons do you have?
Well, I've got my trusty 38, and she pats her satchel. I've got a baseball bat in the trunk, or 3, probably 3.
Do you have a shotgun? I'm not bad with a shotgun. Rabbits, you know, back on the farmstead.
I don't mean any disrespect, of course, Nevada, but if this thing's a spirit, a demon, or whatever this thing is, you think that you're going to hit it with a shotgun?
I've hit things with shotguns before.
Right.
Surely
but-
it's more likely to be kids messing around, or
Well, I'm not going to shoot the kids, no.
And there also was that box within the box, the sarcophagus shaped box. So I can show you what that looks like now.
Yes, please.
I say I can, but can I? Yes, I believe I can.
Also, do I have a shotgun in my trunk?
Yes, I think so. I believe you. I think that's reasonable.
dibs on the shotgun.
Can you all see that on Roll20?
No.
Not
I
as
can't.
yet.
No? Okay. That's so me. Okay.
There it is.
Okay, good.
Ooh, shiny.
So it's empty, as you can see. So this is what it looks like when it's all opened up. That really makes my life a little easier, doesn't it?
Getting flashbacks, Owen?
Can I read it? Do I understand the language?
Yeah, let's roll for that. What languages do you have, Ali?
I have Latin and Greek and Egyptian hieroglyphics.
Oh, good. Very good. So that was the last one that snuck in. So give me an Egyptian hieroglyphics roll for this.
It's almost as if Chaosium built that character with a acrobatic skill. Imagine that.
Why would they do
I
such
might
a
have
thing, Mike?
nailed that one. That is the
Ooh,
second level of success.
Okay,
success.
hard success.
Hard success.
All right, very good. So, do I know what it says? Is probably the next question.
Right.
So you definitely know what it says. Okay, good. So, yes, you do recognize these are Egyptian carvings on the outside. It doesn't really signify to you anything to do with magic or the occult, though, which might be surprising given the nature of everything Rupert's told you. This is just kind of standard mythology folklore. Nothing really interesting. This is almost like something they would have at the museum that they let you touch, if that makes sense. However, when you open up the sarcophagus, that text that you're seeing inside, those symbols, those are not Egyptian hieroglyphics. You don't quite know, Allie, what language that is, but this does look more like something you would associate with the occult, I would say. Okay. But you're not sure what it signifies or what it says.
And on the inside, do the carvings look like they were done at the same time as the ones on the outside, or like they've been done more recently, or as part of a ritual?
Yeah, so on the hard success, I'll say they're a little bit newer, but it's not like they were freshly written by Rupert before you showed up to his hospital bed. But certainly more modern, maybe something that was put there in the 1800s, so not ancient. And the depth of them is a little bit different. So on the cover, the symbols are almost like embossed, kind of three-dimensional. You can run your fingers over the top of them. That's not the case for the symbols on the inside of the little container.
So this is, on the outside, this is actually quite boring as far as Egyptian hieroglyphics go, which are actually very exciting if you let me tell you about them sometime. But on the inside, I have no idea what this is. Have you seen this before, Nevada? I was on the road though, but have you seen this before?
Oh, are you already going?
Oh yes, of course we're going.
Well, you didn't assume she was already driving, because we're halfway there at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
If I can be, already moving while everyone else is reading stuff, well, might as well do two things at the same time.
Sure.
Come on.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
I know Egyptian hieroglyphs, but you already figured out what those say, so I don't think it's going to do me much good to look at them. Nope.
Yeah,
Really
I never did find the page. So there's definitely nothing else interesting for those.
No, definitely not.
But I'm pretty confident I got the gist of that. Yeah, so that's really all you can glean from this sarcophagus. And I'm going to hide that if you're okay with it.
Yep.
All right. And so you're driving away from the university. Yep. Is that right?
Slightly over the legal speed limit, probably.
Okay. So if you're heading to the Glen, if you're heading to Ross's Corner, whatever that was called, if you're heading toward the farmhouse, is there anywhere you'd like to stop on the way to pick up supplies or speak to anybody about what you've learned so far? Any type of investigation before you? It's completely up to you. I'm not judging you.
Mm-hmm. Nevada's the kind of person who just goes straight to where she's told the thing is, because what's the point of talking to people if she already knows where the thing is? But she could be persuaded by other people if they want to stop and talk to someone.
Well,
but if you don't,
there might be a gas station or something like that in this area before we actually get to the house, because if there's cabins, there's going to be some sort of rural, either a general store or a gas station or something like that in the area. We might be able to learn a little bit more about the house. Maybe we'll get some informational tip. Maybe the people at the gas station have heard that, like Allie said, it's a bunch of kids.
Good idea. We should also probably get some gas so we can burn the place down if we have to.
Okay, very good. So you're going to stop when you're much closer to the farmland, is what you're saying.
Much closer.
Okay, good. I found the page, by the way, on the Egyptian roll, but I think it's good. I think we got everything we needed out of that. And the only other additional piece of information is that the carvings are intriguing. All right. You may notice I've skipped 10 pages. Which is good because we're gonna get this all in one go, and I think that's the goal. So as you get toward Ross's Corner near the farmhouse, this is a little town. So there are the things you would expect to find: gas station, general store, little police station, things like that. So if you wanted to stop at the gas station and go inside, is that right,
yeah.
Louis? Okay.
Well, I figured Nevada's going to grab some extra gas, and I might as well get
enough to burn down a farmhouse if we have to.
I might as well get a little bit more lay of the land from a local.
Okay, very good. And I imagine that Nevada is the type of person to always run on empty. So just getting enough to get to the farmhouse is probably going to fit the bill pretty well here.
It's more dramatic that way.
That's right. Yeah, so Louis, and how about you, Allie? Are you walking in with Louis or waiting in the car? What would you like to do?
I think maybe it might be a good idea to buy some. What time is it actually?
Oh, good question. So it's going to be right now about 2 in the afternoon.
Hmm. Do you think we should get some torches just in case there's dark, spooky places or it gets dark?
Not a bad idea.
I'll
Always
go
seem
and
to
get
run out
them.
of torches in dark places. Should always have some extras, but I never do.
And it's okay for me to use your shotgun. That's so exciting.
Yeah, so you could, let's say this is like one of those good gas stations. You can pick up things like that at the gas station, which is attached to the general store, and you could also pick up lamp oil and wicks and things like that. That if you think you might need light later, could be helpful. They don't actually sell lanterns here, but they do
I
have
guess
supplies.
Louis is going to assume that there's no running water or there's no running electricity. And so we probably ought to get a couple of torches, and we might want to get some lamp oil. And thinking that there's three of us, I don't know when the last time they ate is, so we probably pick up something to eat just in case, whether it's bread or whatnot, or maybe the store's got something canned that we can grab, just to be a little quicker.
The predecessor of spam.
Yeah.
Yes, you absolutely can do that. You can get some food. We always get jerky, but we play Old West most of the time. So you go in, you pick up your provisions. You can go into Nevada after you finish gassing up if you'd like. But it sounded like Louis was going to try to speak with the clerk. Is that right? The clerk of the store.
Yeah.
Hello, how are you? How?
Good. Just these couple of things, and can I point like to the side there, maybe behind? Can I get some of that jerky?
Oh yeah. It's still delicious, and he undoes the cap on a jar filled with sticks of jerky. How many would you like?
Say 6, just to cover all our bases. So we're going to a cabin up the road here, and I wanted to see. We haven't been to it in a while, and it's friends of ours. And I didn't know if you'd got any, you heard anything weird happening at any of these cabins around here.
Oh, which cabin are you going to?
It's owned by a friend of ours, Merriweather.
Hmm.
He's not doing so well, so he wanted us to go check on it.
Oh, that's a pity.
Mm.
Yeah, I can't say I know a whole lot about it. How long are you going to stay out there, you think?
Probably just a day or so.
You're
We're really just making sure that there's no raccoons or snakes or anything like that has gotten in the house in the middle of the season.
Okay, stay in the night.
Snakes.
Oh yeah, of course. Okay, yeah. So he's not volunteering a lot of information, but it was pretty clear to you that he'd heard of this place. So he's kind of packaging up that jerky for you and
Sure.
all the other fun things you're buying.
Okay.
You could.
So if I get the idea that he maybe is playing a little bit coy with me, I'll lean over a bit on the table and say, I'd really appreciate it if you were straight with me. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of lay into the Italian in my accent.
I love it.
And just look him dead in the eyes. Just be clear and be straight with me. Have you heard anything happening up there?
I love that. Since I like it so much, give me. It's probably persuade, but you can let me know what your social skills look like because I don't have them directly in front of me.
Oh, intimidate.
You're gonna intimidate him. Oh, the Italian. I should have picked that up.
It's my best. And
Yeah.
No offense to our Italian viewers, but
Yeah.
it's the it's how I see this character.
It was perfect too because on the stream you dip down beneath the broken part of the glass in your window pane, and it did look quite intimidating.
Okay.
So yeah, give me an intimidate roll. I'll give you a bonus die though because I like the way you did that.
Okay, so
Ooh, nice.
without the bonus die, so that's just I'll take 20. That's fine. It's a hard success.
Okay. Very good. So with the hard success, he nods. He knows where you're coming from. Yeah, I am being straight with you, but I know a little about this house you're going to, and I wouldn't stay the night. I'll tell you that. That place is haunted, no doubt about it. That farmhouse. You don't go out there. That's haunted. Everybody here knows that.
How long's it been haunted?
Oh, I mean, just strange things happen around that house. Probably the last 40 years. This goes way back. The Mr. Merriweather, he owned it a long time, but he ain't done nothing with it. The place has just been abandoned to whatever spirits are there. It's a dangerous place, and we know it's our business to not have business there, if you know what I'm saying.
I got you.
When you say it's haunted, what sort of things have happened? Bad things happen to people, or just you've seen things?
Oh yeah, he's gonna kind of see who else is around and like pull you both in to talk a little bit more candidly on that hard success. That I'll let everyone ride that because that was good. Yeah, so it is people. It's animals. It's it's a bad place. That whole property. It's cursed. It's haunted. Something's not right there. We have people gone missing, and this isn't. I said it's 40 years, but this is recent too. We got people missing around here right now. There's people. People ain't come home. We've got a Maggie McFurter went out there to check on some horses and hasn't been seen since. That was, only 2 days ago. Wow. So we got, police went out there. They ain't find nothing. But if I know the police around here, they're so skittish about that place, they probably didn't investigate. They don't want to get near that place. Nobody does. It's haunted. Y'all look like good people. You look like, except for maybe the one pumping the gas, you look like you wouldn't want anything to do with this.
Yeah, she's a real firecracker. I bag up the groceries that we're taking.
Yeah,
I appreciate the heads up.
And we're good folk here, so anybody looks at you suspicious around town, just know that if they know you're going to that house, they're going to be wondering what your business is. I wouldn't talk to too many people about this if I were you.
All right. Pick up the grocery bag.
I guess I could give you directions, but I don't want to be responsible
No,
for whatever happens out there. Yeah.
You feel free to give me directions.
The last thing you want to do is or maybe you do want to get lost. I don't know. I don't know what's best for you, to be honest. But you just take the Boone Road. Maybe you know it. It runs north out of town. And turn left, down path about 2 miles. The path, you'll see there's a tree out there. Looks like it's been struck by lightning. You'll know you're in the right place.
Make a note.
Yeah. Good luck. Sounds like a good trip. Good day trip.
We'll see you on the way back. We'll let you know how we got on.
Yes, very good.
Sure it'll be fine.
Yeah, very good. And he takes 4 more strips of jerky out. These are on the house.
Well, thank you.
You never know when the extra jerky might come in handy.
You never know.
Always got to have that jerky.
Well, we better get back outside before she takes off without us.
She's at the house.
She's already like tapping her fingers on the steering wheel. Like, come on, gotta go. Got an adventure. Come on.
She did a secret listen roll and heard all of that, and she's gone. She heard the directions.
Yeah. I get back in the car and put the bag of groceries in there.
Okay.
All right, so I know where we're going.
Excellent.
We know there's ghosts there, apparently. That's what the locals say anyway.
Ghosts. Wonderful. Never seen a ghost yet. People keep telling me that there's ghosts and I never see them, so I hope there's one this time.
And the poor missing woman as well. Maybe we could be the rescue team. She's probably just fallen in the basement or something, can't climb out.
Yes, rescue. Search and rescue team.
Yeah, let's hope that's what it is.
Well, let's go then. And she's already driving off before anybody can say, yes, let's go. She's already yelling out.
Where are you going?
To the house.
But you don't know where it's at.
I'm sure I can figure it out.
You got to stop and take a breath one of these days. So
I haven't breathed since 1915.
Well, you're starting to look blue in the face. So what we need to do I start, kind of plotting her out a little bit. We go down here, we take a left. You're going to look for a yellowed sign, and then they said that it's been nailed up a couple of times. So look for the sign with a bunch of yellow nails in it. We take a right, and then we take it out to this road. And what we're looking for at the end of that road is a tree that's been struck by lightning. They say you can't miss it.
Sign, nails, tree. Got it.
As you drive us into a ditch.
Wonderful. Well, fortunately, the path is wide and pretty easy to navigate, so I won't force you to do a drive auto at this point for what you're trying to do, unless you want to do some aggressive maneuver.
Cup wants to avoid us ending up in a ditch and taking the adventure twice as long as it should be, basically.
Yes, correct. And when I ran the disintegrator, they insisted on failing to find the hotel, if you remember.
Yes.
So, yeah, we could do that. So everybody's good? Allie, you're good with heading up there?
Oh, you're muted,
you're
Owen.
Muted. Yeah, muted.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, absolutely. I'm so excited to actually get to do something that isn't just reading books about other people doing cool stuff.
Right. Classic professor group here. They're just eager to make their mark on the world here.
Oh, speaking of books and not taking her eyes off the road, she pulls a copy of one of her books out and tosses it back to Allie. Read this while we're driving. I autographed it for you.
Now Allie's getting motion sickness, trying to read on the bumpy road. But yeah, you continue exactly the way that Louis told you to, Nevada. You're driving down this wide path, and as you go further down Boone Road, everything around you, your surroundings start to become overgrown. It's clear that this is an area that humans aren't meddling with very much these days. And you do note, after you make a left and kind of head down toward the end of the path here, you do note that there's a dead tree, and it looks like it's been blackened by a lightning strike. This doesn't seem fresh to you, so it makes sense that the clerk gave you this as a landmark, so probably struck by lightning maybe a decade ago. So this is a long dead tree that's just sitting there, split kind of at the middle by a lightning strike. And here you do see you can turn off to a little path that it wasn't that easy to see, but Nevada, you're so skilled as a driver that you saw that there is a little overgrown path that you can follow that you presume goes to the farmhouse based on what Louis told you about his conversation with the clerk. And it doesn't take you long. You see the farmhouse. It becomes visible after you travel along this path and drive through some trees. So the road is still pretty wide. It's wide enough, but there are just weeds growing up everywhere in the gravel. And this track leads all the way to the farmhouse. And you also see the remains of that large barn that was mentioned in the deed. And those are the two most striking things that you're seeing.
Oh, should probably go to the farmhouse first. If there's a missing woman, she might have gotten trapped in there falling down the stairs. Probably should go there first, make sure she's okay, and then we can do whatever exploring we need to do. Yes?
Absolutely.
All right, very good. So let me describe the farmhouse to you in a little more detail. So this is an 18th century salt box design. So those houses that it looks like they start as one story and then the roof will peak up to have a second story. Usually it's maybe a single bedroom or an attic on the second story. So it has this high peaked roof. And the windows are flanked by sagging shutters. So this clearly is a place that is in disrepair. It hasn't been maintained in quite a long time. In fact, most of the windows are broken out, and the ones that are intact are filthy, and they just have this film over them. They almost remind you of frosted glass because you're still kind of distant from the house, but they're completely opaque. You just can't see anything through the windows from where you are. Just years of dirt and dust accumulating around everything at this house. So the first floor, again, it's kind of this single-story structure that apexes into an attic or a bedroom. The roof is a little bit bowed in, so some weather damage is obvious here. Most of the shingles are intact, so it looks like the roof's in decent shape, given everything that you know. The whole place, it's hard to describe, but it just, and maybe it's because of what you've heard from the clerk and from Rupert, but it just exudes this unsettling atmosphere for all of you. It's all a bit eerie, and perhaps you're thankful that you've driven out here in daylight, because this would certainly be a creepy place to be at night. There's no bird song in the trees. You just hear the sound of branches that are swaying in the breeze, and the breeze is kind of whistling through, creating this just very, very creepy feeling. And it almost feels to you the way the branches of the trees are kind of extending outward towards your car as you're driving up this path. It's almost like the trees are trying to invite you in. They're pulling you in toward the house. They're reaching out to you like, welcome. It is time. You're finally here.
Well, that's nice.
It's not creepy at all.
You can see why the locals are a bit superstitious about it. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Honestly,
Nevada,
quite surprised
you're
they haven't
joking.
already burned it down.
Nevada, you're joking about the things. When you say they're strange things, it's just ways to wind people up, isn't it? Or
Oh, no. I've seen very strange things. Barely gotten away with my life sometimes. Haha.
whisper over to Lou. I'm sure she's joking, really.
Right, we're here. Slam on the brake.
I cross myself again.
Good. So have you parked the car then, Nevada?
Yes, in front of the house.
Like right in front of the house, front door?
Right in front of the house.
Okay.
In the front door. So you're gonna drive.
Drove right into the house to save time.
She's gonna drive through the front door screaming, I made it, I'm first. To kind of get it all out.
And now that you're here, now that you're right up to the front door, you do see that there are overgrown weeds and kind of little gardens all around the perimeter of this house. And it's again just more signs of no maintenance happening here at all, but it's really tall, maybe 2 or 3 feet high in most places.
Okay. I mean, if we're out on foot, I guess I'm gonna take a look around the immediate property area, at least in the front here, and just kind of get a gist of. My thought is there's probably a dead animal up here, or there's, some sort of raccoon family living around here, clattering around in the house, and that's what's got people tripped up.
Okay. Give me a spot hidden roll for Louis.
Spot hidden. Nope.
Not going to do it.
No.
You could do luck or a push if you'd like.
No,
Push
that's
the
okay.
roll.
No, I'm not going to push
Okay.
the roll. Not yet.
Darn
I'm
it.
not there yet.
We're big on peer pressure around here for that.
It's not peer pressure. It's just your turn.
And you were looking into the more of the gardens or kind of the grass right around the door?
Just like the grass area, just to see if, like Allie and I had heard at the gas station, this girl Maggie was missing a couple of days. So if there's maybe there's footprints around here, maybe there's tracks. Maybe she left something fell out of her pocket. Who knows?
Okay, good. And it's up to you, Nevada or Allie. You could take a look as well, or you can go inside. Whatever it is you'd like to do.
Yeah.
I get out and toss Allie the shotgun just to make sure we're armed.
How are you catching that? Are you like catching it and cocking it immediately?
Can I make a roll to see how well I catch it?
Oh gosh.
This is how Allie ends up shooting herself in the foot or something.
Oh wow, that was
Wow.
brilliant.
Yeah, like I've been shooting so many rabbits. Like I know exactly what I'm doing with a shotgun. I have no idea as a person, but Ali looks pretty cool with it.
Yeah, I'm about to tell you to increase your firearms skill after that, the way you caught that. But I think Nevada and Louis are probably just staring at you like, oh, okay. We didn't know you didn't know you had that kind of skill.
Hey,
not
in the
expecting
house, there might be a poor trapped woman. She might be starving. 2 days out here.
Right, inside. I'm with that. Louis!
All right.
You coming in?
Yeah.
So you're all gathered around the front door of the house, I presume, with that
Yes.
key? You have the key from the
Yes.
box? All right, good. So you slide the key into the lock and it does fit. So you're able to open the front door to the house, and you walk inside. The first thing that you're going to notice off to your right is that there's a bar that could be used to lock the door more securely from the inside. So there's a little plank of wood there that could be used to bar the door. And you walk further in, you notice, let me make sure that you notice some of these things without spotting them. Yeah, so in addition to the outside being really dusty and dirty, the front room also is very dirty, and it looks like it's been, at least in most places, pretty long untouched. You do get this this foul odor hitting you in the face, unsurprisingly, as you walk in the door. There are just coatings of dust, almost like a couple inches thick, around all the furniture and the empty shelves, and there's dead leaves covering the floor. There's an iron stove that's resting against the far wall, and it has a ventilation pipe that's still connected to the outside. You saw this when you pulled up to the house. There's a round table with chairs near that stove for dining, and the floor is warped and stained. It's pretty obvious to all of you that there's been water leakage here, water leaking through the old roof. Even though it looked like the shingles were mostly intact, it's not perfect. This is an old house that hasn't been cared for. So rot has eaten away at that table. Maybe that partially describes the odor that you were getting. There's an old couch, Nevada. Just make yourself at home, and a matching wing chair with that couch. And you know, perhaps these moldering pieces of furniture are the source of the stink. And there's a second room. So again, you're on the ground floor here. This was that salt box design where the first floor is bigger than the second floor. So near the entrance of that second room, you do see a flight of steps. It looks to you like a steep flight of steps that are leading down to some kind of cellar. Why don't you all give me a listen roll?
Ooh. Listen.
I guess we'll try to do this one at a time on Roll20. Or will it roll them all at once? I'm not sure. Oh, a 4.
Wow.
Brilliant.
Wow, Owen. You are on it.
What's the third level called?
Extreme.
Literally heard nothing.
Yeah, that's right.
I didn't hear a thing.
Okay, Allie. Allie feeling very confident with that shotgun. She does hear scuffling and scurrying underneath the floorboards. And it's not really clear to you, even though you crushed it on your roll. You just hear the scurrying. The only thing that maybe stands out to you, Allie, is that it doesn't really sound like mice. It's a little more intense than that.
Something under the floorboards. It's probably just an animal, but what do you think?
Well, Louis suggested raccoons, so maybe.
Yeah. I still think it's a raccoon. I think they got a whole family to manage.
Well, should we go into the basement, see if the lady is there?
You're the lady with a shotgun. You tell us where we're going.
Well, I think I'd have to bow to Nevada in this situation. What would you do?
Well, we're going to go downstairs and see if she's down there first.
Okay.
She's not
Can
here.
I go first?
She might be down. Yes, of course. But make sure you have a light or something. I don't know if they had electricity.
I have a torch with me. I picked one up at the store there. I turn it on and kind of get a bit behind Allie so that way she has some light ahead of her.
Oh, thank you. Always the gentleman.
All right, very good. So, you start to head down the stairs with your light, and it was you, Louis, who was leading the way?
No. Allie's leading the way.
Oh, Allie's leading the way, but with your torch. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I've got the torch over her. I'm just trying to give her a little bit more light.
Okay.
So it's Allie, Louie, and then Nevada's bringing up the rear.
As I'm going, I'm going to call out, but it's actually a whisper. It's like pretending to call out.
Okay.
Maggie, Miss McFurder, are you there?
All right, very good. So, as you're walking down the stairs, Allie, give me a spot hidden roll.
Oh no.
Right, did it, but it hasn't come through yet.
Okay.
Should I do it again? We'll just take the first one.
Let's roll 20 lag.
Let's try it again. I cleared the die. Let's try it again. See if there's a little bit of lag going on here.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Oh no.
89.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
That's pretty bad.
It was due after that 4.
All right. So you're not seeing anything as you continue to walk down the stairs, but that shuffling and scurrying that you heard earlier is becoming more intense now as something leaps out of the shadows at you, Ellie, and mounts an attack. And it's it really took you by surprise, this attack, but you don't feel like it's a raccoon or a mouse. It seems to you now that they're close to you, like this is a person with, it's maybe a chair leg or a table leg or something, and they're trying to hit you with it, Allie. So on the failed spot hidden, I'm going to give them a chance to make that attack without allowing you to dodge or fight back, unfortunately. So let's see how that goes. All right. Oh boy.
Oh no.
All right.
Oh no.
So on the 11, it's fortunately for you, it's just a table leg or something like that. But I am going to roll a D4 to see how much damage you take here.
Okay.
Maybe that's aggressive after I played it down like it was generous. Let me do that.
A generous D4.
Oh boy.
That's 4.
Oh,
That's
ouch.
4. All right. So this shot with the 11 and the 4 in particular, that table leg, chair leg, whatever it was, just bashed your head. Just bashed you right in the head, and just this kind of spurt of blood now, Allie, just kind of shooting and streaming out of your forehead. As you hear, it sounds like a man, and they're just grunting and pushing you aside on the stairs. And on the fantastic rolls that I just made, this person just darts out the back door of the house before any of you have a chance to figure out what the hell just came out of the cellar to attack you. And they are gone.
Wow.
Good gracious.
What happened?
I try to steady Ellie and get her back onto the main floor so that she doesn't fall down the stairs.
Yeah.
I didn't want to shoot it. It was just a man, wasn't it? It was a man.
I steady her against a wall for a second and then head towards the back door. I'm not necessarily looking to shoot out the back door after it, but I want to make sure it doesn't come back in.
Okay, good. So I'll give you a spot hidden for Louis there to see. Let's see exactly what you're seeing when you look out that back door.
While he's doing that, can I do first aid on Ellie?
Oh, sure.
If I see this big bloody gash.
Is the 40 a success?
It is not, no.
Okay.
The spot hidden is only 25.
Okay, oof. So you don't see anything. Whoever this was off like a flash, and you just can't figure out where they went.
I shut the back door. They're gone.
Okay. Yeah, so
shot.
Rena, absolutely, Nevada can try some first aid here.
That is a success, regular success on my first aid.
Okay.
So I unnecessarily rip off the bottom piece of my shirt to make a bandage and tie it around Allie's head. It's very dramatic. I'm like, there, you'll be fine. Pick it up. Keep going. Come on.
All right.
Things to do.
Expect you learned those skills at those crazy parties you always stole.
Probably yes, but also in the Amazon. And she's gonna go over and talk to Louis. Did you see? Who was it?
No. Relax. Calm down. I didn't see who it was. Okay?
Why relax, though? Is it a murderer? Do you think that's what it is? There's a murderer living here, killing people. That's why they're going missing.
I don't know. Maybe, Ellie. Let's just get a hold of ourselves for a second. I guess Louis is going to try to just get his bearings. This guy went out the back door, so there's an entire section of this lower area we didn't even look at, right?
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's a lot of farmland around here. So, yeah, I guess keep looking around this main level. Is there anything else that suggests someone's been here for a while? Good. So yeah, when you go back to that front room, you see on a little table that's kind of tucked into the corner, you see it's like a blanket that's been unfolded, and on the blanket you see things like half-eaten cans of pork and beans. You see some like cool sticks that have been collected, and some rocks, and just there's like 14 cents in change sitting on the blanket.
I shake my head. It's a fucking hobo. I turn around. There's some homeless yeg here. He's just hanging around, and we probably spooked him.
Nevada's looking at the arrangement on the blanket. It's like, there's some occult forces here at work. You see the layout of these sticks in this very specific pattern.
It's a bunch of change and some sticks, okay? Give it up.
But I have seen something like this in Mexico, and she just goes off on this long diatribe about some tribe she saw somewhere.
Listen, Massachusetts is a long way from Mexico, all right?
Good. So simultaneously, it's very obvious to Louis that this is just some kind of unpacked bindle that this person left here, and it's very obvious to Nevada that this is the answer. This is the occult right here. All the answers are laid to bear right here on this blanket.
I go back over to Allie. Are you all right? Is everything? I could take a look at her head and see how Nevada did.
Yeah,
So
looks...
I'll be okay. We're made of thin stuff where I come from. I'll survive.
Must be to do with that cold. Ugh, I shiver.
Yeah, it looks pretty bad to you. And you're at 8, right? Just for my own sanity, Owen. You're at 8 hit points now. But yeah, Louis, it looks bad to you. You're surprised that the hobo was able to do this with just a table leg.
It's a cheap shot.
Yeah, it was a cheap shot. Yeah. By the hobo and the keeper.
Right. Well, no, the keeper is expected. So
yeah, and in fairness, I went down to the basement first. I knew what I was getting myself into.
You did go first into the scary basement in the haunted house.
So, if you're up for it, we should keep searching the basement there. We got to figure out if it was just a place the guy was sleeping at, or if there's something else going on.
Yes, straight back on the horse. I'd like to go first again, if that's all right. Otherwise, I'll be scared of it.
All right. I this time I think I'm going to have the light, but I'm also going to take out. Yeah, I guess I'll take out my switchblade.
Okay.
With a proper flick, and say if any one of these other hobos come out of this basement, I'm sticking them.
All right, good. I will give you the opportunity to make a spot hidden roll, just like I did for Allie, as you go into the basement.
I'm terrible at spot hidden, but I'm going to keep getting back on the horse, as Allie said. Yeah, that's not going to do it. 35.
Okay. Yeah. So you don't hear anything interesting. Just kind of the creaking of the steps, and also I think that another thing that's probably a little more pronounced to you is the creaking of the floor for the people who are still upstairs. And I was stalling there so that I could get a nice sound effect going. But yeah, this is again just an old dilapidated place. But yeah, nothing too interesting in the way of movement or glints or anything like that.
Someone in the chat said, it's Shia LaBeouf. He's brandishing a table leg. It's Shia LaBeouf.
That's perfect. Yeah.
Thanks, Mini Titan 10.
Wonderful. Yeah, so are you going to step further into the cellar? What you see when you come down the stairs, and you kind of have this this radius of light that's being cast by your torch. And remind me, it was Allie who went first again?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's okay.
Yeah.
This time I'll be like, hobos, we're not here to harm you.
We come in peace.
We're just university professors investigating something different.
So Allie, you have some light from that torch, but give me a luck roll as well to see if...
Oh no. There's a positive clown car full of hobos down here.
Yeah, is it a family of hobos?
Luck roll to see how many hobos are in this basement.
Is it stalling again on roll 20?
Yeah.
Let's see. Sometimes if I clear the dice, it helps. Maybe. Maybe not. If it's not working for you, I can roll for you.
Try again, Owen. Sometimes
sure.
that unfreezes it.
There we go.
There we go.
Cool.
All right. 46 is... That's a success for you, isn't it?
A success. Yeah.
Okay.
Just about.
Yeah, so on the successful luck roll, Allie, when you get to the bottom of the stairs, you turn to your left and there's a shelf there and you find a lantern. And the lantern looks like it has plenty of oil and a functional wick. So you could get much better light if you want to use the lantern down here.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and... Well, hang on. I'll have to let go of my shotgun.
Oh, that's tough. Yeah. Although the way you caught it, I feel like you got the shotgun with one hand, no problem.
All right, cool.
Maybe it has a strap. You just kind of sling it onto your back or your shoulder.
Yeah, I'll have it in one hand, and then, I'll put it down for a second while I light the lantern, then pick it up. One shotgun in my right hand, lantern in my left.
Okay, perfect. And the first thing you see now that you have that real nice glow from the lantern is the table leg, the bloodied table leg that struck you in the head. And
at least he dropped it. I suppose that's a good thing.
That's true, right? Unarmed now, maybe. So the cellar's small, and it has a very low ceiling. I think Louis might have been 6 foot, so you might have to crouch down a little bit down here with the low ceiling. The floor is made of hard packed earth, so no kind of flooring here. Pretty standard though for a farmhouse cellar. It's much cooler than the house above, and the smells here. It's mustier. It's dirtier. It's dustier down here. It's 40-year abandoned basement, other than some vagrants coming maybe in and out of the cellar, it appears. You do see a pair of chairs that are against the wall at the base of the steps, and you see a table with a missing table leg. I'm going to mention this every chance I get just to remind you, Owen, of Allie getting hit in the head with the table leg. There are shelves lining one wall, with cans and boxes sitting on the shelves, and it looks like those are filled with foodstuffs. So just old food on the shelves. You see several tins of tea leaves lurking among the cans, and there's even a silver tea set here. So maybe this harkens back to when the students were here. It's not really clear, but the silver has some wear on it, so it doesn't look like it's been recently used. It's very long tarnished silver. And you do see a few cast iron pots and pans for cooking. There's tableware for eating, so they were storing everything around eating down here. And on the lowest shelf, oh gosh, Nevada, there's a row of bottles containing really good liquor.
Oh hell yeah!
So not the kind of quality liquor that the hobo would be accustomed to, but yeah, very very fine liquor here. Bourbon.
No wonder he was down
they
here.
Go.
Yeah, in the satchel. Satchel's
Fine hooch to keep him warm.
The satchel
of holding.
Satchel's full now, full of liquor.
She's gonna clink now when she walks. Clink clink.
Well, I'm not very stealthy anyway, so it's fine.
Allie, you do also see behind the or next to the steps that lead into the cellar, there's an old, but it feels pretty sturdy. There's a ladder there. It's about 8 feet tall. And behind the steps, there's a pile of lumber, a bag of rusted nails, and a wooden box that has some tools in it. A hammer. You can repair this place. A hammer, a handsaw, a hand drill with 3 different bits, a chisel, and a rasp. And in the corner near the shelves is some kind of bundle underneath a tarp. And that's just in the far corner, kind of just beyond the edge of your lantern glow. You're just making out the kind of old, dusty gray tarp.
It's a body. Calling it now. It's a body.
Surprise hobo, number 2.
Surprise hobo.
Secondary surprise hobo.
Hobo deja vu. And you're muted again.
Well, he just got struck in the head, so.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, my internet's got struck in the head, so I think that might be the problem. But so I've got no idea what's going on here, but I have to say I'm a bit trepidatious about investigating a strange bundle. What do you think, Nevada? Is that
That's
more
what she said.
your kind of thing?
Nevada's already sitting on top of the bundle.
Right.
Yeah, anyone, you're all, I'm assuming you're all down here now. Is that kind of how
yes.
you did
Oh,
it? Yeah. Okay.
Oh, I'm going over to the bundle. I want to see what's up. I do have my gun out,
Okay. Yeah, it's kind of
just so you know.
well, as you get closer, you see that the tarp, the shape that it's taking, it doesn't look like a person or anything like that. But it does look like maybe a trunk, something. It's a little bit long and kind of boxed off whatever this tarp is covering. Squared off.
So I'll pull the tarp off. It's a box.
Yeah, it's a very expensive looking travel trunk, and the straps are fastened and the latches are secured. Looks like to you.
Well, shall we open the box?
Yeah. Pop it open.
I'm
Okay.
curious
So
about what kind of hobo has all of this equipment. This expensive box.
Could be left over from the previous owners. Who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine a hobo carrying this kind of thing around. Can you?
No.
At least you didn't get
Starting
hit
to
by
wonder.
you didn't get struck by the heavy trunk. That would have been like a
Then we'd be
D10. Yeah. Okay, so I mentioned the latches were secured, but they're not locked. So you can just
Oh,
pop.
they're not locked.
No, you can just pop those latches open and open this trunk.
That's
And
not suspicious at all.
no,
Not a bit.
inside, describe this to me. Are all three of you like huddling around, or are you a little bit more reluctant, Allie?
I think I'll hold back with my shotgun ready.
I
More of a
realized
support role.
I realized too late, and I tend to do this. I described that in a way that made you think something was going to leap out and grab your throat, and I didn't do that intentionally.
Of course not.
All right, that's
Side effect of GMing.
Yeah, that's like a really cool time for me to pull up some mysterious music, though. I think it just feels right now. Okay, so Nevada, you look in this trunk and you see a folded black cloth, and there's a handwritten letter resting on top of the cloth.
And Rupert really likes letters, doesn't he?
On the underside lid of the trunk, you see it's some kind of sigils, some kind of carvings on that. And now that you're seeing these sigils, you realize that when you walked into this house, the wood around the door frame is really worn down, and the wood is rotting. And you kind of thought that it was cut strange above the doorway, and now you're thinking you actually saw these sigils, matching sigils there as well. It's almost as though your keeper forgot to mention those first round of sigils as you walked into the house.
So, a voice in my head is telling me that I saw these sigils upstairs and I just didn't notice it.
Yeah, and there are some other items in here too. You notice that there's the letter there too. So I guess you would have to kind of work your way through the trunk.
Yeah.
Okay, so start with the letter.
All right, very good. So I'm gonna pull it up. We skipped so many handouts that I'm not sure which one it is. Let's see.
Should have labeled it trunk.
No,
Handout, schmandout.
I did. I thought I labeled this really well. Okay, I think I have it.
Now I'm worried about all those handouts we missed. I have to go back.
No sweat. And this is going to be really difficult to read. I can read it if it's not clear to you on Roll20. Let me pull it up on Roll20 first, and then we'll decide.
Super helpful.
Let's see here.
Okay. I can't read that.
Michael, you're like our designated difficult letter reader, so you can read it, or I think I can do it because I have a printout of it that might be a little bit easier.
Yeah, that might be a little bit easier just because with Roll20, even if I magnify the browser, it won't magnify the text at all.
Okay.
Even after you magnify it because it's a pop-up technically.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do it then.
Cool.
So I'm going to close it for y'all just so that I don't forget to do it later.
Okay.
And then I'll read it aloud to you. And I'm going to do one more thing here. in Roll20, or not in Roll20,
no.
in Twitch. Yeah, that's scary when I say that. One more thing in Twitch, which is I'm going to move the letter so that people can see me read, because that's going to be incredibly exciting for them. Okay, so I just slid the letter over, and now I'm going to read it. So it's dated March 23rd, 1877. I don't know why I'm putting this down on paper. It's probably a bad idea, but I feel the need to leave some kind of explanation for my actions and intent. When I took the sarcophagus from my uncle, I did not think it would be missed. I expected to be able to research it and return it later. I was such a fool. Despite believing in the powers we tried to summon, I grossly misunderstood the consequences. Now Robert is dead, and Harold a madman. I'm going back to the farmhouse to organize our things. I dread stepping foot again in that place, but I must make sure that our materials will be available again when we need them. Since the others are too shaken to attempt a banishment of the creature, I can only hope that the thing hasn't the power to remain in our reality more than a few hours or days. At least it's bound to the house itself. I shall search for a means to destroy it before the last of us passes from this world, and its release from the house, if it is still there. I believe I know where I can find the knowledge I need to drive the creature away without assistance from others. I hear tales of mystics in New Orleans that know much of the true magics of the world. I'm leaving the gold box in Rupert's care. I told him not to sell it or have it appraised by anyone, but I did not tell him why. He also seemed puzzled by my insistence not to live in Boston, but I believe he trusts my judgment not to go into danger unwittingly. My uncle does not know about our dark brotherhood, so Rupert and the others will be safe from anyone looking for it. I'll be back to put things right again. Marion Allen. P.S. I write this before I close the lid on the trunk. The thing is still in the attic of the house. It seemed to recognize me and spoke foul curses at me. I will carve protective wards on the trunk to prevent anything tampering with its contents, just in case. And I will try to forget the way the creature looked when we threw the powder on it, which you may notice is not on the actual handout. But you skipped so many things.
Well.
So, good thing we didn't go up in the attic first, huh?
Yes.
Well, powder. Gonna guess start searching through the trunk and see what else I can find in there. Muttering powder.
Okay. All right. Very good. Let's get back to the trunk then. And I've become a mess. Here we go. All right. So let me close the handout first of all for the viewers. And I think we're back the way that we intend to be. So yes, as you're going through the trunk, you notice now that black sheet, the black cloth that was folded beneath the letter, this is 6 folded black robes. And perhaps this triggers a memory from your conversation with Rupert that there were 6 students who used to come to this house. And also that the man who signed that letter, Marion Allen, was the leader. He led the group. So those 2 things are coming back to you. And you also see a cigar box inside the trunk. And there is a sheaf of yellow papers. So the cigar box, the papers, and the robes are in the trunk.
Can I open the cigar box and see what's in it?
Sure. So the cigar box is, let me pull up. Y'all don't need to see this on Roll20, but it just kind of adds color. There is a picture of the box. I feel bad now. I'll pull it up so you can see it. This is this is unfair. So I'm going to open this and show it to you and zoom, because Graham did a nice job with these handouts.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so the cigar box. This is a box of cigars dating back to the 1870s. Once you open the box, Nevada, inside there's a small metal canister, which you're looking at now, and it contains a coarse brownish powder. And there's also a smaller wooden box with a sliding lid. It's open on the handout, but it's up to you.
Oh, I think we're supposed to throw this at the thing. So we should probably keep this with us. I don't think we're supposed to sniff it either.
What are you trying to say? You're going to sniff powder.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I wasn't speaking to you, Louis. Definitely not.
That's good.
All right. Papers. Anyone want to look at papers? I don't want to look at papers. Anyone else?
Yeah, sure. I take a couple of them and just look over them, see what the gist of them are.
Okay. Before we look at the papers, did y'all want to open the smaller box as well? So you open the canister that had that coarse brownish powder.
I figured I'd open the small box while he's looking at the papers, doing two things at the same time.
Okay,
so,
very good. I was trying to because I'm on the same page as myself. So I'll start pulling that handout for you on Roll20, and let's see, of the sheaf of papers. So you should be able to see this, and I'll pull it up for Twitch in just a moment, but I am going to describe the wooden box first. Okay, so Rena, for Nevada, sliding open the lid to that wooden box, within that box is a silvery talcum powder-like substance. Just the box of powders. So you have the brown powder, and now you have a silver powder.
Well, that's the weirdest looking cocaine I've ever seen.
You could give me some kind of science roll. What type of? You're an archaeologist, though, right? So I guess you're all seeing this. Is anyone good in chemistry or pharmacy or anything related to that?
My science is 0.1.
Even medicine would be maybe useful here.
Nope.
Yeah, no, science is not my strong suit.
Nope.
Are you all 1%?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just for fun, why don't all of you roll it? And if anyone hits it, we'll learn more.
Okay.
Just on the off chance that. Oh, do you
That
want
was
to?
really close.
Well, you
Spend
could use
luck.
4
Spend luck. Spend luck.
Yeah, I'll do that, definitely.
4 luck.
All right.
Poor
Yep.
luck.
So was
for
that
sure.
Allie who rolled a 5?
Yeah.
All right, so a 5 for Allie. Allie just killing it on the rolls, except when she's getting hit in the head with table legs. So yes,
It should be.
spending 4 luck. You know that this is sulfur and oxide of copper, and oh, sorry. That is the brown powder. The brown powder is sulfur and oxide of copper. Copper makes sense to be brown. So you've identified that powder. So something, rolling the 1 with the luck that you spent, this would be something to start some kind of chemical reaction. So at least knowing that, you've probably discerned which powder is monster powder and which powder is fire powder on the 1. Yeah.
Impart that knowledge to the group.
Good. I hope you said it exactly as I did. It's like, this is monster powder and fire
This is fire
powder.
powder.
Lovely. Okay, and you were going to look, Louis, at the sheaf of papers.
Yep.
So now let's take a look at those.
Oh.
The funnest thing about this for me now is I'm assuming I'm showing you the right handouts.
Nice.
But,
You never know.
you never know.
We could get all the things we're not supposed to see and then just solve the case in 5 seconds.
That's right. So this is what you're seeing. You found this sheaf of papers, Louis, And obviously this is pretty strange stuff that you're seeing.
Yeah. Just looking over the first few lines of it is probably to someone like Louis, who is not only superstitious but also very Catholic. This looks way out of school for what Merriweather should have been doing. This whole thing is beginning to unravel a bit. I just probably run my hands over it just a bit, just fingertips over the words a little bit, and shake my head. I don't think Rupert knew what he was doing. This is, I don't know. It's like some sort of exorcism chant.
Good. Didn't they mention something like that? Rupert mentioned something like that in the letter, the translations. That's what they used. Maybe that's that.
Yeah, it's supposed to be it.
Happened. Am I right in thinking this happened before his time? So they must have re-summoned this thing.
Yeah, or maybe they didn't finish the job. I mean, whatever it is, the guy at the gas station said this has been going on for 40 years.
Well, Rupert would have been a student 40 years ago. He's like 60.
You know what? What if they kept bringing people into the group because they knew if this thing, they knew this thing could get out if all the group was gone. And so they kept bringing people into the group to keep this thing here.
Well, didn't Rupert say he summoned it? Like, that's why he has this whole weight of the universe guilt thing going on.
Maybe.
I'm still not sure I really believe all this, but I think we should go through with it, because then we can go back to him and say at least we did it, you know?
Well, you're welcome to go up to the attic by yourself if you want to see if you believe it or not, Allie.
Well, as long as I've got my trusty shotgun, it makes me feel better, even if I don't use it.
Yeah, head back upstairs then.
Okay.
So,
a few more things you'll notice in the sheaf of papers. One is that there are 6 copies of the Latin writing. So you have 6 copies of this. It looks like there is a translation in the box. So I should make you roll for it, but you're seeing it, so I don't feel like that's appropriate at this point. But I know that at least Allie, I think, is strong in Latin. So let's assume that Allie knows what this says, and she can convey that to the other two. One paper in here, one in the sheaf of yellow papers, does identify this as a Latin chant that was derived from that book you encountered earlier. You didn't encounter it, but you heard about it. The De Vermis Mysteries. Yeah. And it also states, this piece of paper, that while the original chant details the ritual for releasing the spirit trapped inside the ancient amber, that several words within the incantation have been replaced, changing the original summoning ritual to one of exorcism. And you can see that on the translated page here, that this is currently an exorcism chant. So this was intended to dispel the vile spirit that's currently trapped in the attic. And you're also seeing under that translated page kind of the corner of a drawing here. So if you want to pull that aside, I will show y'all what that looks like. All right, so in Roll20, that should be loading for you all, and I'm going to load that for our viewers as well.
Oh, fancy.
Yeah.
That's
Graham knocked it out here with these. So you see this pentagram, and it mentions that the sheaf that kind of had all the instructions that they had been tracking mentions that this would need to be drawn as part of a ritual. So you have the 6 sheets that have the pentagrams and this Latin chant that you have the translation of about exorcising this creature or this demon.
Do we have to do this in the attic, or can we do it here? Well,
let's together look at the next 3 sheets. So these aren't actually going to be handouts. What I'm going to do is I'm going to slide this handout to the side so we can kind of see each other here. or the
You
viewers
said
can
there were a
see us.
bajillion handouts. You weren't kidding, Cup.
No, and we skipped like 10. So yeah, we're doing fine. And so let's do this. Let me tell you about the other 3 pages, and then we'll take a little break. It seems like a pretty appropriate time for a 10-minute break. So let's look through the other 3 sheets, which these 3 sheets detail the procedure of the ritual itself. So this is going to give you some insight to your question, probably, Allie, about where this needs to be performed. So it takes at least 1 hour to perform the ritual, and it must be started at midnight. And it's about 5 o'clock in the afternoon right now. So 7 hours from now, you're going to, well, if you want to start a ritual, you would do it at exactly midnight. While at least one person speaks aloud the ritual phrases, another person must draw the pentagram on the floor, while another burns a certain combination of chemicals in a fire nearby. Now, Alan's notes mention that the chemicals resemble a brown powder, which he says he has prepared and stored with these papers in that metal canister. So,
Powder.
even though it was such a good rule, I guess it wasn't that helpful, because he just said it right here too. While one person may perform the ritual chant, the notes recommend that several people take part, allowing each individual to occasionally interrupt their chanting without disturbing the overall ritual and its potency. Because the worst thing that you can do is break the chant during the ritual. So now I feel like we have a great chance to embarrass ourselves later.
Oh, no.
And if the chant is continuous, with at least one person reciting the repeating phrases aloud, the spirit must succumb. However, it warns that even the slightest disruption of the chanting may result in failure, requiring another ritual to be performed on the following night. So this might be like a 3-night stay, depending on how things go.
Oh, no.
And finally, the notes suggest that during the ritual, a watcher be posted, lest the sorcerers be disturbed by the nuisances and distractions of malevolent spirits. And I love this because basically they've set it up for at least 4 people to do this, and there are 3 of you. So You'll be multitasking, which is really fun. Or you just won't have a watcher, which might also be fun. Thus, these sheets confirm that a 2-hour ritual using the chant provided, begun at midnight, will drive off unwanted spirits. That's presuming that this isn't all just bullshit anyway, like Allie seems to believe that it is. And that's it. So you have these items. You have the procedure to carry out a ritual 7 hours from now. And when you come back, we can pretend however much time you'd like has elapsed, because we're going to take a 10-minute break, and then we'll pick it up again. Okay. All right. Thank you, everyone who's tuned in for watching, and thank you, Michael, Owen, and Rena. You're doing great, and for bearing with me for kind of reading through this for the second time as we play. But this scenario is a lot of fun, and I feel like the intensity is about to get ratcheted up a little bit, if you haven't been clubbed in the head already. So you had found a bunch of cool stuff in the cellar. And you know about this ritual. The ritual's been detailed to you. You have the Latin chant. Will you need to chant it in Latin, in English, for an hour, for 2 hours? We don't know yet. But that's where you're at. And you've read that there's something in the attic, which you've not visited yet. And you're hanging out for 7 hours. So until midnight, if you want to start a ritual.
I got beef jerky. We can get through this.
Yeah,
Beef jerky will get us through anything.
That's right.
The clerk really set you up, didn't he? With
He did. He knew.
the
He
4
was
extra
like,
pieces.
Here's a little bit more because you're going to need it, buddy.
Exactly. All right.
Are we actually going to do this, though? That's it.
Of course we're going to do it. We have to see what's here.
And if it's real, it's going to be dangerous.
And if it's not real, well, then it's just a fun few hours, and then we go back and tell old Rupert that we did the thing, and the thing is gone, and we just set his poor little demented mind at rest. Either way, it's a win-win.
Shall I do the chanting?
Yeah, I think we're all going to have some part in it.
If it's for, is it 1 hour or 2 hours, Cup?
The whole ritual was 2 hours. It looked like there was about an hour of chanting, though.
Hour of chanting. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we should maybe switch off so that someone doesn't get too tired and loses the thread. I don't want to be here for another night. Haha. So maybe and if any demon ghost thing does show up, well then maybe we can just swap out. Tag team. So.
The one on the weapons, one on the chanting, and one on the symbol. Just switching around.
When you say weapons, that's the Watcher, I suppose.
Yes.
That's good.
So, who has the best drawing skills? That's not exactly my forte, but I think someone needs to draw. And she holds up the paper with the pentagram on it. Someone needs to draw this.
That's not my special skill.
I got a pretty steady hand. I'm no artist, but yeah, I've got a steady enough hand. I can draw that. Whatever that thing is.
So we should start drawing this around midnight. Is that what it like? Or do we start chanting at midnight? I'm a little fuzzy on that.
It is, I believe the chanting and the pentagram start simultaneously because the ritual details, which were paraphrased so beautifully by me, were something to the effect of like one to chant, one to draw. So I assume those have to be done at the same time.
So we start at midnight. So if Louie's going to be drawing, then who's going to start with the chanting and who's going to start with the weapons? Allie, you want to start with chanting? Okay, and I will start with the weapons.
But it says that there'll be sorcerers or something that we have to guard ourselves against.
Well, I'm assuming they're up in the attic, so we probably shouldn't go up there.
That's Nevada's problem.
This is obviously your area of expertise, but I was wondering, should we set up booby traps and that kind of thing? Or are they going to be ghosts that are just going to walk over them and we'll fall in them? I don't know. I've never done this before.
Well, based on personal experience, and she doesn't say what the experience is, we should definitely barricade the doors and the windows in case that hobo comes back or anybody else. We don't want anyone interrupting, so if the police decide to come around and check in if they know someone's out here, we don't want them barging in and disrupting the ritual either. So we should probably do that. If it's ghosts or spirits, well, booby traps aren't going to do a whole lot, but we could always set a tripwire at the bottom of the stairs in case it's a person.
All right.
Well, first thing we got to do is start a fire.
Yes. Firekeeper.
Well, I mean, there's enough wood around here. There's some furniture downstairs we can burn. I look around, Cup, and see if there's any... is there a place where they've stacked firewood inside here by the fireplace, or? Yeah,
there was in the cellar behind the stairs. There was a pile of wood. I just mentioned it very briefly in passing.
Okay. No, I start bringing that stuff up then because we're going to need it in here.
Okay, good. So kind of in preparation. I'm assuming you're also bringing the trunk materials upstairs.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. So you kind of start bringing everything into that front room where the fireplace was located, getting prepared for. Midnight, which is worlds away.
And getting everything that we could ready for a barricade without actually barricading, just getting all the stuff right next to the door.
Okay, good. And yeah, that was that long plank by the front door too that you'll remember.
I'm going to go around and check, see how many doors and windows there are, figure out what needs to be blocked up. Probably we'll block the door to the basement when it's time, just in case the hobo comes back.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. So on the wall where you had the fireplace, there's no windows on that wall, so you have one clear wall. On each wall adjacent to that, there are 3 windows. So the front and back wall of the house have 3 windows each, and there are no windows on the opposite end. That's where the stove is. So that stove with the ventilation pipe, and you have a front door and a back door. In the second room, there's a little, I don't know if you found this yet, but in the ceiling there's a little trap door, like an attic door in that back room, and the back door was open, but I believe Louis closed it.
I did.
After the hobo ran out.
Post hobo.
You have that door closed. There's like a little latch lock on it that looks like it still works, but it doesn't have. There's not a way to put a plank of wood there that's obvious like there is with the front door. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna go around finding pieces of furniture to block things up with, and checking to see if there's anything I can use to block particularly the doors.
Okay.
Probably move the couch in front of the door when it's time.
Yeah, there's that dusty old sofa in the front room. The easiest door to block with that would be the front door, but the three of you could get that around to the back door no problem as well. You also have kind of a long table that's by itself, and then you have the smaller round table with 3 chairs around it, and the fourth chair from that table is sitting in front of that bindle or occult package. The bindle that Louis and Nevada were looking at earlier. You have a chair. There was that wingback chair next to the sofa that matched it. So there's a decent amount of furniture in this place, plus everything you found in the cellar. You had the chair with the broken leg down there. You had a ladder. You had the trunk. And there's a table that was turned up against the wall as well.
Well, I'm going to disrupt the arrangement of sticks and the bindle just in case, because you never know.
Oh, good. Okay. Should I make you roll luck for that?
I'm just moving them. So I'm going to just quickly do that when no one's looking, just because, you never know. The hobo could be involved in some occult shit. And then I'm going to start carrying stuff upstairs and arranging it around the doors and the windows.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to tell you if that saves everyone, but maybe it does to rearrange the bindle pack. So yeah, I think you could pretty easily, even though it's pretty far in advance of midnight, you could at least prop up furniture to block off whatever windows you can. I don't think you're going to be able to get complete coverage. You might be able to at least hang fabric over some of them to do that.
I think maybe what Louis might suggest to Nevada is pick a window, pick one of these windows that you're not going to cover at all, and use it as a funneling point. So that way, if people are going to come in, they can only come through one way. And so that means that there are a whole lot less places you got to look out for.
Good idea.
Yeah, that's good. So I'll say that you have enough stuff to, it's debatable how secure it is at this point, but you do have enough stuff to kind of prop it up in front of most of these windows so that you could do that. You could have one clear window, and then the other, what did I say, 5? The other 5 windows they're at least obstructed,
Okay.
If someone was able to get through it, they could probably push some of the furniture over, but maybe they at least can't see what you're doing. Which window do you want to leave clear, just out of curiosity? You have, there are kind of 3 next to the front door and 3 next to the back door.
Probably one next to the back door, because I don't want people trying to break in through the front door. That's too easy. At least if someone comes to the front door, then they still have to go around to the back to try the back door.
I see.
And it's somewhere that I can easily shoot at if I need to.
Okay.
From the room with the fireplace, if you're peeking your head around the door of that, would that window would you have a decent length before someone coming through that window would get to us?
That's a good point. So the problem with the window directly next to the back door is there is a little dividing wall between the front and the back room, and you wouldn't be able to see what was going on with the ritual if you get at that window. But there is a window on the back of the house close to the fireplace, so you could be in the room with them and using that window if you'd like, or maybe you want to separate yourself from the ritual. I mean, it's really your call.
Have to be ready to take over in case someone stops chanting. So, all right, that window it is. Good job, Allie. I knew I kept you around for a reason.
Well, if that's how you see it, I mean. Anyway, adventurous as moving furniture is, I wondered if we should have a look around for that hobo in the grounds, or see if there's any other problems that could arise that might cause problems for us.
Yeah, we ought to at least do a last check.
You probably have a couple hours of daylight left. Not that like anything mystical happens at sundown necessarily. Midnight is kind of the target that you have, but you'll have good light to look around outside without the torch and the lantern. So you're free to look around the farmhouse. I mentioned earlier there's a large barn, and there's a water well. Which, Louis, when you went to close that back door, you saw the water well off to your left. But those are the main kind of points of interest, I'd say, on the property. But you are also surrounded by woods, so if you want to look for hobos or missing persons, whatever it is that you're aiming to do here, you're definitely free to do that.
Should we maybe gather some water in case the fire gets out of hand?
Might not be a bad idea.
At least a bucket of it, something. We might also get thirsty. I mean, it's been 3 or 4 hours, unless you want to get into that hooch that you pulled from the basement.
Probably not good to drink before chanting, I don't think.
Let's leave it for the victory celebration.
I might need a drink to start this chanting, let me tell you. my grandmother would be rolling over in her grave thinking her grandson was doing spell casting.
Also, speaking of fire getting out of hand, I think Nevada actually kind of was mentioning that as a good plan. I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah, you have the accelerant now, yeah.
Well, I mean, if we need to set the house on fire to kill the thing, the chant doesn't work, well, there we go. Backup plan. Always have a backup plan. Usually involving fire.
What if one of us gets set on fire, though?
Then we pour water on you.
Right. That's why we got to get the water.
Unless you're possessed, in which case we don't.
He got you to come all the way back around to where he was going with the water.
I'm just trying to talk sense. Things are going to get crazy.
All right, well, go get. You should get water then. Yes, water is good.
You know Nevada well enough, Louis, to know where that was heading.
Absolutely. Yeah, I go grab some water and then maybe just while I'm at the well, do a little investigating around that area, see if anything turns up, and go from there.
Okay, so on your way to the well, you see the well is it's made of large stones. It's pretty close to the house. It might be 10 feet off the left side of the house when you walk out that back door. Sure. But you're kind of getting a fresh look at the side of the house now with that overgrown brush you were trying to examine earlier in the front of the house. So give me a spot hidden just as you walk by. See if you notice anything.
Oh, Louis, your poor spot hidden.
I know.
I am going to spend 6 points of luck.
Yeah, the spot hidden's been so frustrating that I think it's been tough. That's a nice idea.
I'll spend it and make that a success.
Okay, good. For me, this is actually a fun payoff for Louis because as Michael, you've talked about this several times, right. But you find it's about knee-high grass on the side of the house. You find a raccoon carcass. So this dead raccoon is lying in the tall grass. It's a huge sucker. It's like 20 to 30 pound raccoon, like just massive raccoon lying in the grass here. And the cause of death, Louis, it's easy for you to determine. The animal's kind of breast area, it's lying kind of over on its back. And the breast area is stained with clotted blood, and a large hole has been bored into its chest. So, you're kind of looking at this hole, wondering, maybe a fox did this, but it's giving you this uneasy feeling. It's not exactly what you'd expect a fox attack to look like because the edges around the wound just aren't right for you.
Okay.
You could give me a natural world roll if you have any of that, or medicine or biology. I don't know if Louis is.
He's not a man of the sciences in that regard, but I will take the natural world just because there's a half a chance that. That
sounds good.
Dice.
Oh, is it stalling again?
Yes, it has stalled.
Okay, let's see.
It doesn't want us to see the horrors that await.
It does not. No, it's very concerned.
Oh, I see a roll.
Okay.
I think you rolled a 42, but it didn't show up. Do you see that?
Showed. That's fine. Yeah, I see the roll.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, during my inspection, I'll probably with my foot like kick it over just to see if there's anything else.
Okay. Nothing else. Some worms climb out of the carcass, but
That's nice.
you're not really noticing anything else
Okay.
other than that. And I would give, if anyone followed you out here, I'd give one more person a shot at that biology, medicine, natural world roll.
I'll say, hey, take a look at this. I told you it's raccoons.
This is like the great vindication.
Yeah.
I really hope it is raccoons and only raccoons. That's not really my forte, this kind of thing. Nevada?
Science? What science? She's still stacking chairs.
Right, I'll give it a once over.
Nevada,
No science in archaeology.
Nevada looks at that one choke point window and yells, "I'm not coming out there." So 81's not going to do it. Yeah, so you see the same thing that Louis sees. It's just this kind of grotesque corpse of a raccoon, but it's not completely decayed, so it's fairly fresh. But that the hole in its chest is a bit disturbing.
Reminds me of the beef jerky.
I guess, but
And you could you could make your way over to that well now, Louis. I think that's what your original intent was.
that was the idea.
Yep. So the bucket and the rope look like they've rotted away, so they'll need to be replaced. But when you look down into the well, you see that there's just what you'd expect: forest litter, kind of scattered across the top of the water. But it does look like well water in there, probably drinkable water down in the well. Maybe if you're resourceful, you could find a way to get it, but without the bucket, it's not going to be something you can just get right now with your hands.
Hey, Ellie, if they got? Did we see any rope in there? Maybe there's some in the barn over there. This rope is no good. We're not going to be able to get anything out of the well.
Worth checking out the barn anyway, I think. Should we have a look? Nevada?
Yeah. What?
The barn might be dangerous. Do you want to come?
Oh, yes. She goes running out. Danger? Where?
Not promising anything, but
You know her pretty well, huh?
It's a barn. It's implied that it's dangerous.
Right.
It's a barn on a haunted farm. It's going to be dangerous.
All right. So as the three of you walk over toward this barn, and like the farmhouse, this barn is dilapidated. It's a mess. It's the roof is just caked in dirt and dust and leaves. And as you walk toward the barn, you're a little bit closer to that wooded area that I mentioned earlier. So you're getting closer to the forestry here. All three of you give me spot hidden rolls.
It's Louis' favorite skill.
While we're walking over, Nevada's telling everyone how her middle name is literally Danger.
I love the fumble.
Look at that. Look at the disparity. 98 and then
Oh no, I wish the one showed up on the 3D dice. But Owen rolled a 1.
I got a success, but nowhere near as good as Owen's 1.
Yeah. So as Louis is seeing a bunch of things that aren't even there, it's like the trees are closing in on you, but no one else is
I see
seeing
that
this.
bum out there. He's right there. You see him behind a tree? He's right there.
Shh, I think I've seen something.
Hobo, where?
On the one alley with your eagle eyes, you're seeing something that is quite disconcerting for you. About, gosh, it's really far out. It must be 200 yards or so from the barn, or 183 meters, if that's more relatable. Within the trees.
It's okay, I'm an old English person, 90 yards.
Okay, very good, very good. Within the trees is it's like a hand kind of poking out from some debris, not debris, but leaves. Like the whole forest floor is just covered in leaves, and you just see an arm and hand, and the fingertips are kind of pointing toward your party, completely still. But you definitely spot this on the one.
Do you see that? I don't think that's a raccoon.
I'm telling you, it's this bum. He's over here behind the stump.
There's a hand and an arm, and I don't know whether I want it to be connected to a body or not, but I think we should go and have a look.
Oh. Okay. Nevada just like, oh, gotta go check this out.
Nevada's sprinting toward the corpse.
I'm probably continuing to stare in the direction, at least for a few moments, of where I think I saw this bomb.
Yeah, you run into a table leg that's just like a table hanging up on the side of the barn. Very good. So, Louis is going to lag behind a little bit as he's looking for the bomb that accosted Allie. But Allie and Nevada, and eventually Louis, as you walk out here and get closer to this arm and the attached hand, you give me a sanity check.
Yay!
It's your favorite.
It's my favorite.
No.
Aww. Ooh, I failed.
Yeah, your favorite.
Yay.
What's your real
Hey.
Perfect.
Right there we
Hey.
Oh wow, all three of you failed.
We all failed.
Excellent.
We're all gonna go insane before we even start chanting.
So you're now getting closer, and you're finding women's clothing under these leaves, and they're soaked in blood. But not only that, they're still wet. You can tell that this is fresh. This is fresh blood that you're seeing on the clothing. And gosh, Louis, it's pretty similar to what you saw with that raccoon. There's a hole bored into the woman's chest, a much larger hole than you saw on that raccoon. And it's just disconcertingly similar to that carcass that you just saw.
This is all wrong.
Give me D6 rolls for your sanity losses.
Yay.
Please be a 5.
Almost.
Oh boy.
6. Woo!
Okay. And 3. Okay, so yeah, Owen, take your 3, and Michael, take your 4. And Rena, with the 6 for Nevada, give me an intelligence check.
Make sure you pass it.
I am very smart. Hopefully this works. Please work.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yes, hard success.
And of course, Call of Cthulhu, that's the one thing, unless you're Rena, it's the one thing you don't want to succeed at.
I always want to succeed on the int check.
Yeah, because this is going to put you into a bout of madness. And before we get to that, Owen and Michael, how are your characters reacting with your sanity losses to seeing this body?
I probably have a very I probably feel creeped out, so I take a couple of steps back and I put my hands up and I don't know if we can keep going and doing this. This we got to get the cops here before somebody gets blamed for us.
Good.
I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to poke it with my shotgun barrel, try and get some of the leaves, roll it out. No, we have to finish this. It has to be done tonight. We just need to be ready for this thing when it comes for us. You can see what it's done. It must be physical. It must have a body. We can set traps. We can take it down.
Good. That's an interesting move you did there with the shotgun, Owen, for Allie. Give me a spot hidden as you kind of turn this body with the shotgun. Don't fumble or you're going to shoot yourself. Okay. 80. So yeah, you're kind of moving the body back and forth and just, seeing more of this wet blood over the women's clothing, but nothing else other than the large hole that you saw in the wound. And now Rena, for Nevada. Gosh, with the bout of madness, this corpse, you're convinced that you know this person. This is a very close acquaintance of yours. Is it your sister? Who is it that you're seeing with this bout of madness? You're certain that you know this person.
Mm-hmm. It's my partner from Peru, but that's not possible.
Yeah, it is her. It's
Jade. I start shaking the body and like, Jade, wake up, Jade.
Yeah, so
Jade, how are you here? Jade.
Nevada, I don't think it. I think this must be Maggie, the woman who went missing.
And Nevada looks up just like kind of wild, like, no, it's Jane Grey. Like, I know, can't you see? Like, she came by the university. She gave a talk with me the one time before we went to Brood. Like, come on, Allie.
It's not Jane Grey. Nevada, it's not. Come on. We can do this. Together we can take this monster down. We're strong enough with you. Come on, hold it together.
But we have to take it down. It got Jane.
Yeah, you might need to bury this body, Nevada. You need to set this right.
I'm gonna go run into the just not say anything. I'm just gonna run into the barn to look for a shovel. I'm just muttering like, no, I have to fix this. How will I ever tell her family? Jane, how'd you get out here? And just like muttering to myself as I run into the barn to look for a shovel.
Okay, all right, perfect. So you run into.
Sorry, can I just ask? Is the woman dressed like? I think she was something to do with horses. Is she dressed like she would be that woman?
Oh yes. She has some like riding pants on. So you think that this probably, to you, Allie, at least, seems like it might be that woman who went missing and not a Peruvian long lost friend. Yeah, that was Maggie McFurter, who you heard about at the gas station from the clerk. So your suspicion is that it probably is her, since she recently went missing here.
And you hear clanging noises coming from the barn as Nevada's just throwing things around while she's looking desperately for the shovel. Like, nope, rake.
Yeah.
Throws it.
Very good. And since you're doing this, Rena, for Nevada with a bout of madness, and you're really not paying any attention to what's going on, give me a dex roll going into this unfamiliar barn.
Oh, God.
Dark and unfamiliar.
That's right, and dark.
Well, my dex is pretty good.
That's good.
That's a success.
Okay, so on the success, there's lots of debris scattered along the floor, but I think maybe it's because of those archaeological digs you've been on. You're just accustomed to kind of stepping around things in the dark, and you're very cautious about, you don't want to damage artifacts or anything like that. So you're able to kind of step your way around all the debris that's on the floor without cutting your leg or falling down and hitting your head on glass, anything that might have happened on a fail. But you do see, you were looking for a shovel. You do see the remains of several rusted farm tools in here, and you see some horse tack, and really that's all that's here. You're not sure if there was just, this barn was never really used that much, or if it's maybe been raided by hobos or local kids or something like that. But you could probably get a workable shovel. It's just going to be old and rusted with kind of a rotting handle. But yeah, you do whatever you want. You hear some rat activity, but they're not jumping out and biting you in the face or anything.
I'm not scared of rats.
No.
I've seen far too many rats.
Just snakes, right?
Just snakes.
Yeah.
Why did it have to be snakes? So I'm going to grab the sturdiest looking shovel that I can find.
Okay.
And I'm just going to march out with the shovel over my arm. Just like, all right, there's 2 more shovels in there. Come on. Help me dig. I'm just going to start digging, very focused and intense on digging this grave.
Nevada, do you not think that the police might want to have a look at this body?
Oh, we can't leave her out here.
If it's Jane, do you not think that she would have wanted you to find out who killed her?
Well, but we don't have to leave her out to do that. I
think it's going to be harder for the police if she's 6 feet underneath the ground when they're investigating her.
Yeah, and I hate to bring this up. You ever dug a grave before? It's time consuming, and
yes,
it break your back.
And we're not going to help you.
Listen, let's deal with whatever's going on. If we're going to deal with anything, let's deal with what's going on in the house. And then when this is all over, we can get the cops here, and we can deal with whose ever body this is, and we can set it all right at once.
Give her a proper burial.
Yeah.
No, I can't just leave her there. Can't. Nevada actually looks upset, and something you've never seen Nevada look before, because she's usually just sort of brash in your face, happy-go-lucky about everything. She's like, I can't leave her there.
We're not leaving her. We'll sort it all out in the morning.
I'm gonna roll just to get an estimate of how long I want this bout to go on.
How long you want it to
Oh
go.
boy. Okay, we're not done yet.
So I'm just gonna start digging. Like,
Yeah. So this would
it's
be like
in the dirt.
the equivalent of 8 combat rounds. So I would say the bout probably won't end until you get this body in the ground or until one of your companions is able to wrestle the shovel away from you and talk some sense into you.
I'm just digging. I have dug graves before in circumstances.
And you've dug up graves, right? As an
I've also
archaeologist.
dug up plenty of graves. I'm very muscular.
All right,
I have a
change
strength
tack.
of 60.
It's time for school mom mode. Nevada, behave yourself. Come here now. You're not making the situation any better for yourself, for Jane, or for anybody else. Come here and be helpful and make things better, please.
Being helpful.
You are not being helpful. You are being naughty. Stop it.
Do y'all want to leave this? Do y'all want to do an opposed roll and intimidate versus? What do you think? Power or Constitution?
Yeah.
Probably POW.
Power.
Probably
yeah.
power, yeah.
Let's do power.
Oh God.
Intimidate
My
versus
power's not that
power.
high.
90.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh. Nope.
36.
Yep.
You're digging.
I succeed. Yep.
Yeah,
Still
you're
digging.
The school marm tactics aren't working on Nevada. So
You
she's
can't tell
gonna
me what to do.
Can you punch her or something? Would that be better?
Punch her.
I don't know. I don't know about these things.
Can I get an idea of Nevada's general build? Like,
She's very tall. Very tall, and like she's fairly muscular for a woman of this time period. Like she's used to climbing pyramids and running through forests and things, so she's very athletic.
okay.
You've probably got like 1 or 2 inches in height on her. She's tall, but you're 6 feet tall. So especially in this day and age, you're very tall too, Louis. But yeah, she's strong, and she's used to getting in the dirt and doing things with her hands. So
Right.
this is no problem.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm going to while she's digging, I'm gonna step beside her, and I'm just gonna put a hand on the shovel, and I'm gonna force her into a contested strength roll.
Okay, I'll let you do that. And Allie, you notice as they start to battle over this shovel that it is beginning to get dark.
Of course it is.
Of course it is.
So yeah, give me those opposed strength rolls.
63. Oh,
85. Okay, so you're not able to do it. Yeah.
I'm gonna spend 3 luck and make it a success.
Okay, yeah, so it's even more embarrassing then. So the way you kind of pull the shovel toward you, Nevada, but then maybe you shove it, right? How do you want to wrestle the shovel away?
So he comes up and he tries to take the shovel, and I just like elbow him like right in the chest, out of the way. It's like, no, you can't stop me now. I've got things to do. Things to do.
While that's happening, I'm going to go and stand in the hole she's digging with my hands on my hips.
Okay.
It is getting dark. We have a job to do. Come on.
All right.
It's getting dark. She has to be in the ground before dark.
I step back in the house.
Okay.
To where Allie left the shotgun. I go and get the shotgun.
Okay.
I come back out to the gravesite, and I slide the shotgun forward and back. I rack around to get her attention. And I say, put the shovel down. Now I'm going to roll intimidate.
Okay, yeah, I like the way you did that.
Versus power.
Yeah, do power again. I won't give you bonus. For that, I might have given you bonus if it was against the NPC, but since it's Rena, I'll just let you do it.
Yes, that's awesome. I totally failed.
Yeah, I failed by 1.
Oh, it just didn't roll. Yeah, you failed. Are you going to spend luck to win another one?
I'll spend 1
It's
luck.
up to you.
Sure.
One luck. All right. So what do you do when Louis cocks this shotgun and?
I'm not even paying attention to it because it could be a wolf, it could be a fox. We think there's foxes out there with the raccoons.
Yeah.
He could be going to shoot something to keep it away from us. I don't know that, so I've got my back to him. So I'm just digging and muttering and like, Allie, get out! You're gonna get dirty. Ow.
All right, I'm going to try and play to my character sheet strengths here, and I'm angling for a persuade roll.
Okay.
Nevada, we don't have time. We have to stop this evil, whatever it is. You said you believe in these things. Come on, come in the house. Help us. We can't do it without you.
And she's already got about 3.5 feet dug out of the ground here. It's really impressive, but it's just getting, before you try to persuade, it's getting darker and darker. And maybe even Louis, when you went into the house, you thought about staying there because it's getting dark outside. And one thing, give me listen rolls, not Rena, but Owen and Michael. Give me listen rolls for your characters.
Nope.
Nothing for Allie. And there we go. All right.
Yep,
so
pass.
Louis, as Allie is kind of fixated on Nevada, who's obviously fixated on what she's doing. Right. You hear it's almost inaudible to you because it's so high pitched, but you hear some kind of shrieking sound coming from the second floor of that farmhouse behind you, and it's almost sounds like an owl, but it's so much more disturbing than that to you.
Okay. Yeah, I look up at the house and then look back at the scene, and I'm gonna, I guess, hope that Allie can convince Nevada to stop and come inside the house.
Okay, and as you looked back at the farmhouse, give me a spot hidden as well.
Oh
this
boy!
Is one of those times, hopefully, where the spot hidden continues to be bad.
Oh boy!
Oh, it does not.
Nope.
On the 6th,
join me in the madness.
You know, the way that the house is kind of framed in the setting sun, you're not quite sure you believe your eyes, but to you, it almost looks like a figure bursts through the cracks in the wood on the second floor of the farmhouse, and the only reason you see it's almost invisible. The only reason you see its form is because it carries some of the dust off of those boards on the side of the house with it, and just for a moment you see the dust kind of covering this. It's not human-like, but it has its arms or tentacles. There's something there, and it just flies through the cracks in the house and starts heading toward the woods. It crashes down to the ground. You see dust fly up off the ground. Fortunately, it doesn't head right for you, but you see it, kind of scatter off into the woods.
I probably turn.
Give me a sanity check. You're the only one who saw this.
Oh boy.
Nope.
Okay, so give me so on the fail, give me a D6. Oh yes. Boy. Okay.
Woohoo!
Could get messy.
Right. Join me, Mike.
So take off your 6 and give me an intelligence check.
Yep. So is that 50-50 shot?
Rena loves games like this where everybody's.
And I failed.
Wow, by one. Okay,
it.
Amazing.
Gosh darn it.
So you lose the 6 points, but Rena wants you to use luck to make it a fail, or to make it a success. I mean, go into battle madness.
I'm gonna hold together for now.
Yeah, so you're keeping it together. We don't need 2 people digging graves. But yeah,
on the lunatic side.
As the sun's setting, you've seen this, Louis. How did you react, by the way, when you saw that and lost 6 points?
Actually, probably the first thing I'd probably do would be track it with the gun. Not that I'm very good with a shotgun, and I'd probably fire just because I think that it's here. It's coming after us. This crazed spirit is finally here. And yeah, I probably shout, "Oh my God, it's here!" And I just, I rip off a shot at it, not necessarily believing I can even hit the thing, but yeah, that's probably the first gut reaction. It's a fear response.
Good. So you fire it off. Give me a firearms roll just in case. I think you'd probably need an extreme success to with a shotgun from this range.
Yeah, 41. That's not even under his regular skill.
Yeah, so you just kind of fire it off. It's almost like firing it into the air. Just this instinctual reaction that you've had there.
Yeah, I shudder and the gun goes off.
And one good thing about that is, Rena, for Nevada, that gunshot kind of snaps you out of this bout of madness you've been in, and you're standing in a pretty deep grave right now, digging, and it just kind of comes over you like, what the hell am I doing?
What?
I'm going to grab you by the ear and start pulling you towards the house.
Don't make me punch you, Allie. I will punch you.
And I will punch you. And it won't do anything, but I'll still do it. And it'll be a shame.
It's over.
Come on.
You see it? It's over. It's right over there. I'll probably like move a little bit, like I'm looking for another invisible thing.
Right.
Except this one, I swear, is invisible.
Louis, I think you're seeing hobos where there are no hobos.
It came out of the house. It came right out of the second floor window. You were paying attention to her. Why were you digging a damn grave? We got to get in this house.
That at least
No,
I agree with.
I looked up and I was in a hole. I don't know what's happening. Let's go in.
All right. Very good. Do you want to drag the body in there since you worked so hard on it?
No.
Okay.
I don't even remember the bodies there, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because I've just sort of snapped out of it. Like, what the fuck?
I probably go back inside the house now that I know that it's out here, and it seems like the house is way safer now.
Right. That would be fun if the police showed up and you were putting a body into a shallow grave out in out near the barn.
And one of your friends had a shotgun in their hand.
Yeah, you're shooting off guns out here too. I love it. All right, perfect. So yeah, y'all are free to make your way back in the house. Whatever you saw, Louis, it didn't come for your group. It didn't bother you.
So about what time is it now?
Let's see. It's dark now. You're probably getting settled back into the house around 9 p.m. But we can speed things up too, depending on what you'd like to do.
Well, I'm gonna go around and actually start barring things up now that it's dark. So, because it'll take me a while to get everything blocked up and strategized. Should probably start the fire, maybe eat something.
I'm going to start rehearsing my lines.
Oh, good. Yeah, you're the
In Latin.
Serpentiam.
You're the chanter, right? Lovely.
Hey, is it going to matter if we do this in different languages? I got to admit, in all the time spent going to church, I didn't really get into Latin.
I think there's only one way to find out, but we might not want to find out.
See, if in my experience, when you're doing these old occult chanty things, it's best to do them in Latin. They're almost always in Latin. I don't know why. I have no idea why we just suddenly decided that the evil language of the occult was Latin. Pretty sure magic existed before Latin, but here we are. So,
I'll say a sentence, you repeat it back, and we'll just keep going. We can do it. Come on, we can do it.
And I'll say this just as a kind of my keeper note to you. I'm happy to have you chant in English and assume you're doing it in Latin. It's totally up to you. Because you have both, right? You have both versions. But I think one of them on my handout is sideways. So it might make things a little more challenging to read the Latin version for you. That's just the way the handout is. But yeah, you're in the house. You're not hearing any sounds as you start to kind of make your preparations. It's very, very quiet. The stillness of the house is almost bothering you. It's almost unsettling. And in fact, you're now hearing there was this rusted swing set out in the front of the house, kind of off to the side that you didn't look at. And that's all you hear right now is it's swinging back and forth with the chains creaking in the wind.
That's not creepy at all.
Not one bit. I've probably put the shotgun away, like down or against a wall at some point, because I have to prepare to draw this thing out. So,
just to be clear, the weapons we have, right? There's one shotgun, one pistol, and one switchblade.
And 3 baseball bats.
Okay, because I'm going to have the chant in one hand. Could I have the switchblade or the pistol? And then whoever's on guard, shotgun?
Mm-hmm. What do you reckon? I'll give you my 38 while I'm on shotgun duty.
Thank you, Nevada.
That makes sense to me. Yeah, I'm perfectly happy for you to do that. Yeah, so time is passing. Are y'all eating dinner or jerky or getting that stove going?
Yeah, probably get the stove going. If nothing else, it's Massachusetts and it's the woods, and unless it's high summer, there's a decent chance that it's going to get a little cold.
Yeah, the evenings are cold this time of year. That's a good call. It's October.
Oh, then definitely.
Yeah.
So between
early October.
Between the stove and the fireplace, we should be relatively warm in here.
Okay, very good. Yeah, so you're kind of alone with your thoughts as you, Louis, probably wonder exactly what it is you saw, and Allie I don't know what you believe at this point. You've kind of been all over the map, but you've certainly seen some weird behavior from both of your companions at this point. And Nevada, you tell me, you might be questioning yourself.
Well, I'm feeling a little tired after I don't know what I was doing, but I suddenly feel tired. And like probably dirt all under my fingernails, like very confused, but like job to do. Never stop before the job is done.
All right,
So still stacking chairs.
Yeah. And as you're over by that stove too, that you're kind of can't help yourself from just glancing up at that attic door, that hatch in the ceiling. It's just too bad that Louie's not having a bout of madness right now.
Aww.
Shucks.
I would have invented something super fun for that.
My bad.
But yeah, you can wait until midnight. You can say it's midnight somewhere. Let's go for it.
Who's taking the powder?
Yeah, making all the necessary preparations and using the fire powder that we're supposed to be using, like closer to the time, so we don't run out.
Yeah.
Louis, you maybe want to like use some chalk or something and sketch out this thing so that then you just have to fully draw it in. I don't know.
I don't know. I kind of feel like if we started too early, maybe we'd jinx ourselves.
Yeah, what are you going to create the pentagram with?
Well, blood, of course. No, I'm kidding.
You do have a body outside.
Yeah, that's true.
We got bodies in here. No,
it didn't say anything in the papers that it had to be blood, but you could do that for dramatic effect.
That's good. No, yeah, but whose blood?
Yeah, true.
Well, I guess, how would Louis feel about it? Unless he does not have any chalk, so unless Nevada offers that, then yeah, we're gonna have to find
burnt wood, maybe like charcoal.
Yeah, could do. There's been a fire going in the fireplace now for a little while, so I would imagine we've got enough coals. We could probably tamp them down, or just put a stick in there, get a brand of sorts, and then begin working with a charcoal stick a bit. You know, that fired stick to use ash essentially.
Okay, yeah, I'm happy with that. What who's doing the quietest work right now among the three of you?
I'm chanting.
So probably not you then.
Quiet.
You're practicing your chant.
It's not me because I'm moving furniture, so it's probably Louis.
Okay,
Yep.
That actually works out pretty well based on everything that's happened at this point. Give me a listen roll, Louis.
That's awesome. That is 100.
Oh my
god!
I got.
Oh my
all
god!
of them.
Okay.
Wow.
So on the 100.
Awesome.
Very good. So on the 100, Louis, you hear, and it completely catches you off guard, and you think it's much louder than it actually is, but you're hearing a distant human scream coming from the woods, and it's so shocking to you and so deafening to you that you actually stumble backwards and trip over some furniture that Nevada's been moving around. So roll D2, or if it won't let you do D2, do D4, and we'll divide it up to get the damage that you're going to take.
1.
All right. So you'll just take 1 point of damage for just falling over. And you both noticed this, that Louis just tripped over some furniture, and the two of you heard nothing.
Did you hear that? Holy moly. I get away from the furniture and kind of give myself some space, and then look towards the window that she hasn't covered yet. Did you hear that scream?
Scream? What scream?
Keep it together, Louis. Come on.
Seeing things, hearing things.
Yeah, keep it together after the grave digging's gone on, sure.
Don't know what you're talking about.
You, outside in the woods, digging the grave. You don't remember that?
Nope.
That's convenient.
Do you think it's the shell shock, Louis?
From what?
The war? Weren't you in the war?
No.
He's a
Maybe he's
professor.
just forgotten.
That's true.
If there's any shell shock, it's been the ride up here with you. I fish out another piece of beef jerky and stuff it in my mouth.
Good. So, as you kind of nurse the new bump on your head, Louis, give me another sanity check on hearing the human scream from the woods.
That is a failure, sir.
Okay, perfect. So this is just going to be D3. So D3 for your... I know. I'm sorry, Rena. When I play with Rena, I feel like everything has to be at least D6 for sanity. Okay, so that's 3. All right.
Yep.
So yeah, you take 3 more points of sanity loss.
I rub my head.
Yeah. That's a tough one, but you were the right person to hear that. And I think that maybe the reason you heard it and it was so loud to you is because of what you saw earlier. So you were just a little more keen, a little more alert about everything that was happening in your surroundings.
I'm one of the 3 people paying attention to what's going on here. It's obvious they're not paying attention.
Very good. Yeah. So with that, you can all kind of start to finish up your preparatory work. Maybe it's 11 o'clock in the evening. It's the midnight hour is approaching. And anything final that you'd like to do? Mm-hmm. You've kind of sized up what's in the attic, Louis. The others really have no idea, I think.
Well, I make sure that I have enough ammo to reload, and I make sure that Allie has reload ammo for the 38, and put the baseball bats on the floor where people can grab them if they need to.
Okay. Who's going to throw the powder on the monster? I mean, if there is a monster.
Whoever's got the weapons, I think, and then we just swap out because monster's probably going to go for the person with the weapons first.
In which case, there's just one more thing we have to do. Pull out a deck of cards. Hand of gin rummy before the midnight. Anyone?
Yeah, good. And so you play gin rummy until maybe about 10 till. Right, about 10 minutes to go until midnight. And then what does this look like? How are you all getting in position? What are you beginning to do for these very final preparations?
I've got the shotgun loaded, ready, everything I need to do with that. And I'm taking up a position where I can see towards the attic and also towards that window. Because the letter said that the thing was in the attic, so.
I'm going to go in a corner. I don't have to be in the circle, right, while I'm chanting?
I don't think you do.
Okay, so I'm going to go in a corner where I also have good line of sight.
You're in the car, shot.
Like, what kind of light do we have? Presumably, we'd want the light to be near whoever was going to be chanting.
Yeah, you're going to have the lantern and presumably some firelight once this thing gets going. And I don't know, I don't know if you have enough hands to use the torches, Louis.
I'm going to have one hand on the brand to do the drawing, and I suppose I could have the torch in my other hand. I mean, if nothing else, if it's an old school 20s flashlight, which means there's a bit of heft to the canisters themselves and the actual light. It could double as a makeshift club, at least for one swing.
Okay. All right. Very good. And who is going to, so let's say it's kind of just a few ticks before the stroke of midnight now. Mm-hmm. How are you all going to begin this ritual? Do you remember the steps? Mm-hmm. Or do you need,
we've got the letter, so we can go back over it if we need to.
Yes.
But have to start chanting and start drawing at the same time.
Yeah, it looked like those were going to be done simultaneously. Mm-hmm. So at the stroke of midnight, which I guess we haven't really established timekeeping, but let's assume that you know precisely what time it is. Maybe it's your pocket watch, Allie, that allows you to know that it's midnight, and you keep that thing wound very precisely as a kind of anal retentive professor. Right. So you have your kind of charcoal stick then, Louis, to start drawing out this shape. And I will maybe I'll show that again just so that we have a little reminder about what that looks like. on the symbol. So this is what you're going to be drawing. I'll pull it up like this. Okay. Do y'all need to see that too, or do you have?
I've got it up.
Okay.
I figured if I was drawing it, might as well have it up. It's available in Roll20. So.
Oh, okay. That's right. Perfect. Once I make them available, you can pull them up whenever you'd like. I forgot about that. So you start drawing out this pattern, which is actually pretty difficult, right? Pretty elaborate. Yeah. Do you have any arts and crafts? I just want to kind of get a sense for how accurately you're doing this.
I don't. I do have a fairly high dexterity, so Louis is a fairly dexterous person. He's good with his hands in that regard. So I think he would probably start with the two kind of concentric circles, one within the other. He's going to start with the circles to establish the perimeter of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think what he would do is he would go for accuracy over speed, because I think that if we get it wrong, that's the concern. So we might only have one shot at this. So Louis is concerned about getting it right.
Yeah.
And so if that means that we've got to, go a little slower than maybe he might want to go, it is what it is. So yeah, start with the circles on the outside and then go to the star.
Give me a dex roll with a bonus die, because I liked your emphasis on accuracy, just to get an idea of how well you're going to do this. And you on Roll20, you could just do two separate D100 rolls. That might be easier.
Yeah, it probably is.
And Nevada is also going to start chanting with Allie, because two people at the same time, in case Allie gets startled and drops it, someone's still chanting.
Okay.
Yeah, so the 60 there is under my dex of 70.
Okay. And you rolled a 5, didn't you? Or
did I?
Yeah, it added it up wrong. You have a 5 and a 55.
Yeah.
Yep.
So 5. So yeah, that's technically an extreme then.
Yeah, that's an extreme success. So you're crushing it. Like, they're admiring how well you're drawing this out. Unfortunately, as that stick kind of first touches the floor and you start to make these beautiful strokes to draw the circles, those concentric circles, you hear this crashing sound in the attic above you. So whatever it is you saw, Louis, that left earlier, it sounds like it's back, and you hear rustling in the attic above you. And I guess it's not directly above you, it's over that back room, and all three of you are hearing this. So you're just hearing sounds from the attic. And I think the only one I'm going to ask for a sanity check on that is Allie, because she's been so skeptical the whole way. So now something's happening in the attic. There's movement up there.
Yeah, they've been getting away with it too.
Keep drawing and say, I told you. I kept telling you.
Yeah. So you passed, though, your sanity check. So it's not bothering you. Maybe you had at some point become convinced, or you're still ignoring it. Kind of your choice on that one. But yeah, it's not perturbing you to the extent of losing any permanent sanity. And yes, you're kind of hearing this rustling. And then, are you chanting? What does that sound like, Allie? And you can do that in Latin or in English.
O spiritus vosper potentiam sapientiam virtum exorcisa persientiam divinam inanimicu tenebrosum praenomen veterum praradicum, etc., etc.
I love that. And as he starts doing amazing. This, I think Nevada, when he starts chanting, it's
she.
Oh, sorry. When she starts chanting, the whole thing just becomes a little too real for you. And I think I'm going to ask you for a sanity check on the chanting.
Oh, dear. We might not survive this one, guys.
Oh, dear.
That wasn't me.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Sorry, my internet got choppy. I thought you meant me.
Okay. I still failed, though.
Not much better, but not a fumble. Yeah.
It's not a fumble.
On the 89, give me a just D4. So this isn't going to be the bout is not not a possibility on this.
That's
okay, so you'll lose 3 more sanity points. How are you reacting to him chanting now? Or her? Sorry, I keep saying him because he chanted it, but she's chanting. Allie's chanting.
I'm just like looking around, going, hey, this is starting to feel weird, like in my head, just like this is feeling weird because there's like a distinct change in the atmosphere, and then there's the noise upstairs and the chanting, and it's taking me back to some bad times in Egypt, and I don't like it.
Good. Yeah, and I'm assuming that brown powder's burning in the fireplace now, right? So, and Louis continues to kind of mark out this pentagram while Allie is chanting in Latin, and you kind of her words are just the background of everything that's going on here. And I, as I switch over to start some mood music, we. After about the first 20 minutes of everything going really nicely, it feels like y'all are doing well, trying to make it through that first hour of the ritual that you read about. About 20 minutes in, you start to hear more commotion coming from the attic, and there's this awful howling sound now. It almost sounds like coyotes or maybe a wolf, but it's definitely coming from the attic above that back room, and it is a little higher pitched than what you might expect from an animal. It's very jarring, very disconcerting to all of you, and the house is swaying and creaking. It's almost like the movement of whatever's up there in the attic is shifting the whole house on its bones back and forth. There's something very powerful happening. It's kind of shaking the house to its foundation. And objects now in the main room are beginning to fall off the shelves. The preserved meat that was on top of that bindle's rolling off. That can of pork and beans tips over, and the beans are spilling all over onto the floor. Some of the furniture that you've propped up against the windows, Nevada, is being shaken down. So now you can kind of see some openings in those windows that you felt like you'd secured pretty well. And as this is all happening, and you're trying to maintain, that pentagram. You probably, after 20 minutes on the roll you had, have most of this done, right? But and you, how's the chant going, Allie? What is that sounding like now?
Everyone just likes it so much.
Omnium unde vitam potentiam tracerunt vos per nomen. Jesus, what was that? Pixosis sapientiam optime ferentiam. Quick.
Good, and it's beginning to grow more intense, and now it sounds like violence. Like it's almost like it's not just one thing up in the attic. You hear it's the rattling of bones. You hear bodies being thrown against the walls in that room. Don't you wish you'd gone into the attic earlier? What a fun place that must be. And this violence, this noise is continuing throughout the ritual now. And maybe you're 30 minutes in, and now this horrible smell is emanating from in between the floorboards of that loft, of that attic space. It's just creeping down into the main room. Give me a spot hidden roll. This will be for all of you.
Okay.
Okay, 40.
It's a success for me.
Got a success, I think. Yeah.
Okay, a couple successes. How about for Louis?
Nope. Louis fails.
Nope.
Oh, okay. And you were so fixated on drawing that makes perfect sense, right?
Yeah,
but I think it's probably you, Nevada, in particular, because you're the watcher, right? You're keeping an eye on things. You're seeing maybe the source of this terrible smell that's now in the room, but there's this stinking goo that's oozing down the walls from the attic. Give me a luck roll.
Of course, because I'm the only one who spent any.
Oh, dear.
97. Oh, my God.
All right. So, Nevada, you're watching this slime. It's kind of this dark green, gray sludge seeping through the cracks between that floor of the attic and the wall. You look up, and just a drop of that ooze drips down in between two floorboards and lands right on your forehead. Give me D2 damage for this, what feels like acid boring into your skull almost. So you could do D4.
That's 1.
Yeah. Okay, so just 1 point of damage. But acid did just strip down from between the floorboards and land on your head, so give me a sanity check as well.
Up wants everyone to die.
Yep.
That's a fail.
Okay. So again, you're not going to be at risk here for about a minute, but give me a D3 sanity loss. Or the D6, because I don't think they
That's
have 3
3
dice for that. Okay,
That's
so
3.
3, of course it is. So 3 points of sanity. And
Lost 12 sanity already.
after that, I don't know if you're telling how do you react to that? Are they going to notice what just happened to you?
Well, it hurts probably because it's acid, so I'm just like, ah! And just like start with my free hand, just like wiping it, trying to wipe it away with like my sleeve or something, just
Good.
like swearing up a storm and like, ah!
It's going to be difficult to
God damn
ignore that. Yeah, good. So you hear this, Allie and Louis. You both hear her scream in pain.
I keep the charcoal brand on the object, and the hand shakes a little bit as I continue to draw. Hey, are you all right? Everything okay?
No! Fucking acid! Ah!
Still chanting, I'm going to hand a handkerchief over to you.
Good. And
Best I can do.
Of course, Owen. And this is the first time I'm meeting Owen, so I'm sure he hates me already. What is this chant sounding like now?
It's sounding like
Just because you chant so well.
potentissimum nomen azathoth exorcisa omnipotentem gelesta puniendum de exorcisa o demon omnio q impero quacum q in partesis. This is not like in school.
It's beautiful. No, it's good. It's good. And you're continuing the ritual, and it feels like you're doing pretty well. Maybe you don't feel as good, Nevada, since you're the watcher, and all that's happened is that you've been burned by acid. But what all 3 of you notice, and that maybe it should be comforting, but it's actually bothering you, is that the farmhouse is deadly quiet now. You barely even hear Louis scratching that charcoal stick across the floorboards. It's almost like you're just operating in silence here. Very disconcerting. Nothing coming from the attic. No sounds at all. Or, wait. Give me listen rolls, everybody.
Hopefully that goes better than my luck roll. Nope. I don't hear a thing.
Looks like
Nope.
all 3 of you
Might
failed.
spend some luck on that. I just need to check how far off I was.
What's your listen, Owen?
Is it? Yeah, it's 50. I'll spend 9 luck on that.
Okay.
Wow.
So good. So you spend 9 luck, and I think Allie, it's so quiet that you're just intensifying your focus, just trying to hear anything. Maybe you can hear that stick that Louie's moving on the ground, or you're not sure. Maybe you even want to hear something from the attic because, what the hell is that thing up to when you can't hear it at all? And coming from outside the farmhouse, you hear the faintest call for help. And it's a woman's voice. Help. Help me. Help.
It's a trap!
That's exactly what I'm thinking as I continue chanting. I won't mention it to you guys.
Help me. And Allie, you're the only one hearing this.
I just look around wildly while I'm chanting.
You don't see anything. Help. You're standing near the fireplace, is that right?
Yeah, in the corner. I was going to try and block myself off so it would be harder to be ambushed.
Okay.
The fireplace.
Now I think the window that Nevada left open is pretty close to you then because it was near the fireplace. So you could try to peek out that, but Nevada, of course, was blocking the window. Then she got hit with acid. So maybe she stepped aside a little bit. Give me a spot hidden roll for Allie. Just see if you notice anything accompanying that call for help.
No.
You certainly don't. Right? You certainly don't. Yeah, so you just continue hearing this call. It's actually growing in intensity a little bit. Now it's more help, with the echoes coming through the windows and the walls. But you do hear it because you're fixated on now, Allie. And what does the chant sound like as you're trying to really listen in to what's happening outside the house?
I want to see what's going on at the window, so I'm going to gesture to Nevada with the sheet, and I'm going to pass it over to you and go to the window.
There are 6 sheets. There were 6 sheets, so we all have a copy. So
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Nevada's been chanting, like she broke off when the acid hit her, but I did say that she would be chanting at the same time as Allie in case there was a break in cover. So she's chanting when Allie goes
good
over
call.
to look.
Okay, yeah, good call. You did say that. So what does that sound like, Nevada?
Oh God.
As Allie makes her way over to the window.
I can't read the. I can't read.
Really hard.
Can you read the English version? Is that clearer?
Let me check. Yeah, because the Latin one is really hard for me to read.
I feel like it's worth waiting.
Okay. O spirits, you I exercise by the power, wisdom, and virtue, by the divine knowledge, by the dark void, by the name of the old ones, the root, trunk, source, and origin of all the other divine names, whence they all draw their life and their power. I exercise you by the name Narlathotep, signifying the most excellent bringer of wisdom, his majesty so high and brighter than the stars of the void, etc.
Well, I was going to let you finish it because we haven't actually read through this, and it's a pretty interesting chant.
Okay. I exorcise you by the most powerful name of Azathoth, the all-powerful, who shall punish the crimes. I exorcise you, and I command you absolutely, O demon, in whatsoever part of the universe you may be, by the virtue of all these names, hear you and obey.
Good, and you're chanting that perfectly in Latin, as Allie has been as well. And Allie, did you say you're going to the window?
Yep.
Yeah, so
gun at the ready.
Yeah, so even without a spot hidden, you're right up to that window now. You look out, and it looks like a middle-aged woman who's calling for help. She's obviously hurt, and she's making her way to the house, and she lifts her head and makes eye contact with you through that window from maybe she's 15 feet away from you at this point. Help me. Her face is streaked with blood.
Point the gun at her.
Okay.
Who are you?
Help me. And
okay, we're done here.
Is the window open or closed?
It's closed.
Okay, so you're pointing the gun through the closed window. I just want to be sure what's happening here. Okay, give me
that loophole,
Allie, or Owen for Allie. Give me a sanity check on that.
That's a fail.
That's a fail. Yeah, give me a D6 sanity loss.
Ooh.
Here we
go.
Used
up all your good rolls earlier.
Oh, yes. There it is.
That's a 5. Okay. So with the 5, give me an intelligence check on that.
Okay. This is going to be. I think I'm really intelligent.
Oh yeah, that's definitely going to do it.
Oh yeah.
So that's definitely a pass. So you understand what you're seeing. You're gripping the gravity of this moment in your life, and gosh, that middle-aged woman. This isn't a delusion. This is someone you know. Is that your sister that you're seeing through the window? Who is that, Allie?
It's Hortensia. I haven't seen her for years. She stayed in the old country. What's she doing here? Louis, Nevada, it's my sister. She needs help. We've got to go and help her. I've got to go and help her. You're
going to need to let her in.
I need...
She's
I'll
in
open
danger.
the window.
Yeah.
I'll does the window slide up? I'll just try and slide it right up if that's how it works.
Yeah, I think you can just open the window right up.
Come in quick. Hortensia, quick.
Okay.
You can help us with the ritual.
Very good. And she's reaching out to you as you open that window, and you two have taken notice of
Nevada swings around with the shotgun up. She's still chanting, but she's got her shotgun up, and she's thinking, "What the fuck, Allie?" Even if she's not saying it, because
you're chanting
a fucking ritual.
give us a couple lines.
She's thinking it.
What's the chant
I'm starting
sound
to
like?
reach out the window.
What does a shotgun aiming chant sound like?
Have you watched John Wick?
Oh, spirits, you are exercised by the power and wisdom and virtue by the divine knowledge by the dark voice.
I think Louis by an hour or so has probably finished the drawing. At this
Yeah. I meant to mention that earlier you were probably 2/3 done, but I think you're wrapping it up now.
Yeah. And so, seeing that there are things outside of his on the edge of his perceptions that are beginning to really happen, I think he's going to take up the piece of paper and start chanting, just in case Nevada has to do something with the shotgun.
Very good.
She won't be able to probably won't be able to chant and shoot at the same time.
Yeah. No, that's very good. So, are you just aiming your gun at Allie right now? Allie, how are you reacting to that?
Past Allie to whatever's coming, because Allie said something about someone coming or her sister coming in, so I'm aiming it like kind of over Allie's shoulder, because Allie's shorter than me.
Okay.
To whatever might be coming in.
Okay, very good. And Allie, your sister, she's so close now. It's almost.
Yeah, I've dropped my gun, dropped my sheet. I'm just reaching out, two hands, trying to pull her in.
Yeah, it's like you can you can do that. You can reach out and try to pull her in. What do you think about this, Nevada?
Allie, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's my sister. Help her.
It's not your fucking sister.
And Allie, kind of like at the moment as you reach out to just touch your sister's fingertips and try to bring her back into the house, she's not calling you for help anymore. She sounds like the sounds changed. It's more like a moaning sound, a groaning, a growling sound that you're hearing coming from her face. And the blood that's streaked across her face is very alarming to you at this point. And now you're not sure, is this your sister, or is this the woman you saw in the woods earlier today? They look so familiar. They look so similar. They're like dead ringers for one another. And that woman, whoever she is, as you reach out to her fingertips, is going to claw at your face with her other hand. Are you going to dodge the claw or try to fight back?
When she sort of changed, I think I'd have a moment of horror and then try and like pull back from the window. So I guess that would be my dodge.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to roll for her, and then you can give me your dodge roll. Ooh, okay. If you succeed.
Don't think I do. Let's have a look.
Oof.
I would let you use luck on a dodge.
I'd have to use 29 luck.
Oh, that's a lot.
But it might be important. I'll do it.
You could always push the roll.
Yeah, you could push the roll too.
Push the roll.
That would be good. If you're going to go out spectacularly.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Oh my god.
How did
Owen?
What did you do? What did you do differently to push that roll?
Oh, good point. So difficult. I pulled back, and then I had a moment of indecision where I've got to save her. I don't know. And then I leant out of the window again, and as she slashed again, I just tried to like get to the side, and I sort of cannoned into Nevada, who stood right next to me.
Okay.
Does that work?
So you went out even further?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be a D4 roll and another D4 roll on top of that.
Oh god.
For the damage.
Okay, I got a 3. And I got a 3.
Okay,
I'm still up.
Are you on like 1 hit point now?
2, but
Does
certainly
should be
unconscious, right?
Yeah.
Oh, is
does
it 1?
first aid give you 1 extra or not?
You were up to 8.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, so you should be up to 2. So
Yeah,
I'm
you
on
have
2,
2. Yeah, so you have 2 hit points, but so you've been. It wasn't just that initial slash, but almost like faster than you could even conceive. And y'all heard this, just kind of tearing away at the flesh on Allie's face. This creature was clawing and biting and almost bit your nose off entirely, Allie. And you are just gushing blood everywhere as your body falls back into the farmhouse. And Nevada and Louie are seeing this, and you are unconscious. You've just fallen down on the floor, unconscious.
sanity roll?
Yes, for both of you. Nevada and Louie. You're going to need to roll sanity. And if you wake up, Allie, we'll get you as well.
Guess who failed again?
I got a 3.
Okay. Oh, wow. Impressive. Yeah, so unfazed. Louis is like so into the art right now that he's unbothered. And so give me, Rena, give me that roll, that D8 roll.
Ooh, fancy.
Oh,
It's only a 1.
Yeah,
I saw worse when I was in Tibet last year.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, so you're just taking the 1 point of damage. And did you like go over to bring Allie close further into the house, or?
No, I had the shotgun up, and as soon as she's out of the way, I was going to pull the trigger and try to shoot whatever's there through the open window.
Okay, good. So you kind of slide out in front of that window and take a shot. Give me a firearms check on that. Wait, are you chanting while you do that? No,
I am.
You're chanting. Okay.
He took
Ooh, it's
over.
a 5.
Whoa, that
Oh,
is
spirit.
an extreme. Motherfucking extreme.
Wonderful. Okay, so
Only the first time I've ever rolled a firearms check in Call of Cthulhu.
So with the extreme success, you're gonna do
Impale, right?
Yeah, you're gonna do impale damage on the creature. Let's see. Give me
Maximum damage.
Yeah, max damage is
First.
gonna be D6 plus 4?
A shock depends on what kind of shotgun it is, but whatever you.
Yeah, so
D6
10
plus 4
Let's
is
go
fine.
with D6 plus 4.
10 damage. Or
Okay.
D6, sorry. Yeah, 10 damage. You did
10
max.
damage. And then roll.
And then roll.
Okay. And is that rolling a D6 plus 4 again?
Yep.
D6 and 4.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Splatterhouse probably.
So
Yeah.
that's 15 damage total.
Okay. Yeah, and this was just a reanimated human. So you tell me what the shot felt like, and then I'll try to help describe what it looked like.
Okay, so I see Allie collapsing to the ground, like, screaming for a moment before she passes out, blood everywhere, and I just automatically just aim and pull the trigger. There's this loud booming noise, and I'm not quite used to shotguns because I usually use my 38. So there's a bit of a recoil, and I stumble back a bit as I watch this thing's head explode.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking. The head is just going to explode into 1,000 pieces as it's almost like the shotgun pellets were all just, because it was so close range, all concentrated on the face, and you blew the head apart, and the now lifeless again corpse just falls backwards into the dirt. Very good. How are you reacting to this, Louis?
I'm doing my best to concentrate on the paper.
Could you give us a line of the chant?
I'm continuing to say, I exercise you by the name Neelathatep, signaling the most excellent. I go through the line. I exercise you by the most powerful name, Azathoth. All powerful shall punish the. I just continue on, and my focus and hope is that whatever's going on to my right is resolved relatively soon.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, and we so as you do that, you kind of fall back from that shotgun blast, Nevada, and you see maybe the strangest thing you've ever seen in your entire life. Stranger than what just happened. It looks like a raccoon is crawling up and through that open window and into the farmhouse. And it does not look like... It looks like the raccoon that was out in the weeds earlier, but this is like how you would picture a rabid raccoon that had maybe been run over and popped back up and is now in the farmhouse with you. It hasn't had an opportunity yet to attack either of you, but the raccoon's there, and you haven't acted, Louis, in kind of a combat round yet. Is there anything you'd like to do while you chant as you see this raccoon climb into the cabin?
Oh, yeah.
There's a baseball bat.
I want to punt that raccoon. Raccoons, lovable as they are when they're alive, deceased ones that have been animated are very puntable. So I'd like to make a brawl roll, and I'd like to kick it back out the window.
I love that. Yeah, so make your brawl roll, and the raccoon's going to attempt to dodge you. Oh, I'm sorry. The reanimated corpses don't dodge. So just give me the punt roll. I'll give you a free punt.
That's a successful roll. It's 45 under 60.
Okay, very good. So along with successfully punting the corpse raccoon right back out the window, give me a D3 roll to see how much damage your kick does to it.
D3. I also get a damage bonus as well. So I'll
perfect.
roll that too.
Yeah, with the bonus as well.
So 3.
Okay, so 3 damage, and you kind of you hear the sounds coming from outside the house. So the raccoon is not down and out yet, but you punted it a pretty good distance. So you're feeling pretty good about yourself now, and you check Allie's watch. Maybe she was the one with the pocket watch as you're unconscious there, and you may have just saved her from being ripped apart by a raccoon. But it looks like there's only about 5 minutes left for this ritual, so you're going to want to bear down and focus on the chant to make sure that everything's going to plan here.
I'm chanting again too, so there's 2 of us chanting just in case something else undead comes out of the woods.
Okay, very good. Do y'all want to give us a taste of that?
Yeah. Why not?
Why not?
Heather.
O spirits, you I exercise by the power, wisdom, and virtue, by the divine knowledge, by the dark void.
By the name of the old ones, the root, the trunk, source, and the origin of all the other divine names, whence they all draw their life and their power.
I exercise you by the name Narlathotep, signifying the most excellent bringer of wisdom, his majesty so high and brighter than the stars of the void.
I exercise you by the most powerful name Azathoth. All powerful shall punish the crimes.
I exercise you, and I command you absolutely, O demon, in whatsoever part of the universe you may be, by the virtue of all these names, hear you and obey.
Lovely. Wonderful. So, as you're chanting this, and as these words are just in beautiful Latin rolling off of your tongues, you start to see at this point there's this wisp of oily smoke curls filtering down through the floorboards of that attic and into the farmhouse. Of course, Allie, you don't see this, but it's happening around you. And
I'm quite glad not to see it.
You notice as this smoke begins to kind of settle near that pentagram that you so beautifully drew, Louis, in on the floorboards in this room, you hear outside the sound of that raccoon, and it's just terrible. Like it's just died, right? Like that raccoon that was just attacking you, that got punted. Maybe the delayed punt had this effect, but you hear the raccoon.
Sounds like kick, actually, but I mean,
yeah, that's right. Yeah, and so give me a little more chanting as the smoke condenses into the pentagram.
You want to start? You want me to start? Or
Yeah, I'll start.
Okay.
Start with the second one. Sure. I exercise you by the name Narlathotep, signifying the most excellent bringer of wisdom, his majesty so high and brighter than the stars of the void.
I exercise you by the most powerful name Azathoth. The all-powerful shall punish the crimes.
I exercise you and I command you absolutely, O demon, in whatsoever part of the universe you may be. by the virtue of all these names, hear you and obey.
And the creature is now, the smoke is kind of rising up from the pentagram and is partially visible now. And Nevada, this is your friend from Peru. She's here. She's standing in the pentagram. And Louis, you know this person too. Who is this? Who are your significant people?
Significant people. It's got to be my father.
Your father, Louis. How is your father is materializing right here in the middle of the pentagram? Give me psychology rolls.
Oh. Oof, because I'm so good at psychology as an archaeologist.
That'd be a no from Louis with an 80.
Louis with the 80. He's here. Your father's here.
That's a success.
Okay.
Hey.
Wow.
Success. You've already seen the Peruvian or the woman who was in Peru before. You know this is not real. This is a disguise, and you're seeing right through this, Nevada. It is affecting you, however. Both of you give me sanity checks.
Yay.
Okay.
That's a fail.
That's a fail for Nevada.
Of
I
course.
rolled the 28. The graphics don't show it, but
Okay.
28, so that's a pass for
Pass
me.
for you, because you're just seeing your father. How would that affect your sanity? You know, this is your father's here. He's here in the pentagram. Nevada, give me a D8 sanity check or sanity loss. I'm sorry.
This will be the time when I roll an 8.
Yep. Yep. There it is.
I called it.
Bingo.
I called it.
You did.
I
You
called it.
did indeed
Mind
roll an
blown.
8. So give me an intelligence check on top of that.
I think I'm temporarily insane at this point.
Yes.
Did I? Hey, I think I failed my intelligence.
Okay, great. So you lose 8 sanity points, but you don't do anything that's going to get you killed immediately. So that's good. Or bad, depending on how you like things to go. Okay, very good.
So I know this isn't Jane.
Yeah.
So I'm going to immediately open that canister of monster powder and just throw it. Throw the powder at the thing, because I'm the one who's holding it.
Good, yeah.
So
perfect.
Since I see through it, I'm just gonna throw the powder, still chanting.
Yeah, so you throw the powder, and this silver powder kind of shimmers in the air as it flies onto the creature, and you can start to make out its form. And this is helpful to you, Louis, because this isn't your father. You clearly see when the powder is covering the monster. To your dismay, it doesn't seem to be harming it in any way, but you are seeing it now for what it is. And you just see it's like dozens of open maws, and the teeth, they're razor sharp, and you see tentacles and arms and flowing appendages. I've said this like 4 times already. It's, again, the most unsettling thing you've ever seen in your entire lives. Yeah. And we're just going to keep rolling sanity. We need to do it again. We need sanity checks.
Okay.
Poor Allie, just unconscious.
I've got the best situation.
I am.
Okay.
I failed.
Definitely going to step back because I know it's not my father.
Yeah.
I passed.
Okay, you passed. You're holding it together. Maybe it was comforting that it wasn't your father. And Nevada, give me a D10. They're gonna keep ratcheting up. Ooh,
only a 4.
A 4. Okay, so you're.
I am down to half of my max sanity at this point.
Yeah, I think that even though you're not suffering a bout of madness per se, you do feel strongly that you need to try to kill whatever this is that you're looking at now.
I keep chanting.
Good, yeah.
I'm gonna pull up my shotgun, because if it's a double barrel, then I've still got one barrel loaded, and I'm just gonna try to shoot at it. Like, I don't know if it'll do anything, but like, this thing is horrifying and it needs to die.
Okay,
and
good.
Louis is chanting, so I'm fine.
Yeah, he is chanting. Give me a firearms check on your shotgun roll.
Don't fumble, please don't fumble. 15. That's a
Not at
success.
All right, so you successfully shoot at whatever this creature is, and it's going to suffer half damage from that shotgun. So give me your damage roll.
So D6 plus 4. So that's half of 5.
Okay.
2.5 damage.
Okay. All right. Very good. So 2.5 damage. Hasn't done very much. Louis, I'm going to let you act before the creature acts. You're chanting.
I think I'm going to continue to chant, but I'm going to keep my distance from this thing just because I don't want to be anywhere near where it can reach, because I've seen what it did to the raccoon, and I saw what it did to that woman.
Okay.
And I'm between Louis and the creature at this point because I stepped in to shoot it, so
Okay.
I'm in the way.
Yeah, you're definitely the first, right? That is in line with this creature. So
I'm glad you're almost dead, Ellie.
Yeah, so you're aware that this thing has some acid to it. So you were burned in the forehead with that acid. So actually one of those tentacles shoots out at you, and it feels it's like the tentacle's covered in that ooze, and you can see it kind of like the way that the powder's hanging off of the tentacle. You just know that this is an acid-laden tentacle coming right for your neck, Nevada. And I'm gonna roll for the creature. Are you gonna dodge or
I'm dodging.
fight back?
I am dodging the fuck away.
Okay, so you dodge, and I'm going to roll for the creature. Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Okay.
I might be joining you soon, Ellie.
So, do you want to roll?
How much time is left?
Do you want?
How much time is left in the chanting?
We're about done here. I think. We'll see if. Well, we'll see how you roll. All right.
We'll
Do you want to roll your? Do you want to roll your damage, or do you want me to roll it for you?
I'll roll it. What is it?
Okay. Roll a D8 and then roll a D6.
Ooh.
Ouch. Okay.
Yeah, that's tough.
9. I'm down.
Yeah, so you're unconscious with Allie. Let's say you kind of stumble backwards and actually land in a tidy pile. So you're in a heap there of unconscious investigators on the ground. What happened was the creature's acid-soaked tentacle wrapped around your neck, Nevada, and kind of pulled you. And it pulled you toward it so that you got face-to-face with one of those just screaming, shrieking maws, and then threw you back to Allie, and now your neck is just burning, and you're unconscious though. So maybe that part's okay. And you're just left, Louis, looking at this now. What is the chant? How is that going?
I'm probably like shaking with this paper and like looking at it and trying to keep things together.
Yeah. Give me. Gosh, this is a shitty thing for me to do. Give me a luck roll, Louis.
Yes.
Oh my god.
It all comes down to luck, as it should. 40. Nope, that's a fail.
Oh no. Total party kill.
Can't push luck rolls, so.
Yeah, I know. All right. Well,
We're gonna die.
gosh, unfortunately, Louis, you did such a good job to this point. You drew a perfect pentagram in the floorboards. You kept kept yourself clean from damage. You saw through your father's the disguise of your father eventually. But as you backed away, you were so adamant about backing away from this creature, you walked right through that pentagram that you drew with charcoal, and you broke the pentagram.
Oh.
And so you read, and you grabbed Allie's pocket watch. You know this is the end of the ritual. You've done everything you possibly could have done to banish this creature back to where it came from, if it weren't for your damn shoes dragging through that charcoal.
Man. My loafers. Well.
Are you going to dodge, or are you going to fight back?
No, I'm going to dodge. Well, actually, wait. No, I think I will fight back.
Okay.
Because I did everything right. And
Yeah,
Damn
this
it.
doesn't seem fair.
I fail, but I'm going to spend 11 luck, and I'm going to make that a success.
Wow.
Okay, you do. You successfully dodge the... It's not just one tentacle this time. The creature is just... but you've backed away so far, you're just out of reach. So the tentacles shoot forward, and Louis, one of them is just right up to your eye, maybe a centimeter away from your eyeball. And you know that, if you moved even a little bit, it would just... shoot right through that eyeball, but you're the perfect distance as it recoils the tentacle back from you. And now it's your action, Louis. Be the hero or be the survivor. What would you like to do?
I assume that this creature is between myself and the other unconscious investigators, yes?
Yes, it would be a Herculean task to try to drag the investigators out of here.
Yeah,
Is there any chance of completing the circle with our blood? Just putting it out there.
He'd have to start the ritual over again, wouldn't he?
Yeah, you could do it tomorrow night.
Man.
If he gets you out of here, y'all could come back tomorrow night.
I think what Luke would do is, as much as he knows both Ali and Nevada,
Yeah.
I think ultimately Louis is probably more concerned about living to tell the tale. And so he is going to exit through the back door as quickly as he can.
Okay.
Because he's scared and he's human.
But remember, Nevada has the keys to the car.
Right, but he's not thinking straight.
I'm just reminding Cup for if you get out to the car and you don't have the keys.
Yeah, I'm not going to ask you for a sanity check here because you have already had so many experiences with this creature. But I am going to ask you for a dex roll to see how skillfully you make your way to that back door, given that you're scared and there's furniture everywhere.
29. So that's 29 under 70. So that's a hard success.
Ooh, 29. See, it looked like 89.
Yeah, it
but
almost looks like 89.
I see it's a 29 on the roll 20. So that's a success. So you do, as the creature kind of gathers itself, you dart through the back door and just start running for the woods. And Louis, I don't know if this is going to haunt you forever or whether you're going to feel some relief from this, but it feels like... You don't know if it's because of the symbols that were drawn over the doorway there on the back door, the ward, whether that's preventing the creature from coming to get you. But it sounds like the creature has descended upon your friends who are unconscious in the cabin, and you hear it just ripping them limb from limb as you run away from this farmhouse. And Allie gains consciousness just long enough to let out a blood-curdling scream as you break for the trail that leads back to Ross's corner, Louis.
I'm going to make a sanity roll on
Yes.
myself.
Yeah, don't even need to ask.
So I'm going to fail that because objectively, I think that it's definitely something that he would suffer from.
Yeah, you could fail that because I think there's no way to pass that sanity check.
There's not
give me a D20. For your loss.
That's what we're talking about. Give me all of it.
Oh, not
6.
so bad. A 6.
Not bad. Yeah.
Let's round it out though. Give me the intelligence check. Let's see what.
Oh, sure. So.
Oh, I want him to go crazy.
Oh, that's
that
good.
is a pass on it.
Okay.
Yay!
This is such a critical moment in the scenario. Do you want to decide the bout of madness, or would you like me to do it?
Oh no, I think. Yeah, no, I'd be happy to. I think. What Louis would do is he would get to the road and he would move and shamble along that road with his hands up against his ears, trying to shut out the screams of his former compatriots. He'd probably be unable to trap those thoughts or the heartbeat, his own rapid heartbeat away. And and likely at some point be found on the side of the road, perhaps even outside the former gas station, ears drenched in blood down to his formerly fine suit, having ripped off both ears in hopes of never hearing the sounds again.
Oh, beautiful. And they do find you in the daylight. They find you and likely commit you to the Arkham Asylum. And the terrible thing, Louis, about being committed to the Arkham Asylum is that you're still so close to Ross's Corner that you hear about all the deaths. So many deaths around Arkham and Ross's Corner for the rest of your life. Just mysterious murders, people being ripped limb from limb, eaten alive. Even rumors of people being taken from the grounds of the asylum by mysterious creatures.
Yes, I'd imagine Louis probably spends the night, most nights anyways, with his ears against the cold mason walls of Arkham Asylum, desperate and yet fearful to hear the voices and screams of those he left behind.
Good. And I think I said you hear these, but you obviously read about them in the paper since you've destroyed your own hearing. And Nevada and Allie, you're dead, obviously. Does your legacy continue in any way? Does your family seek revenge?
I mean, my dad would probably come after looking for something because he's a famous archaeologist as well. He's older, but he would come looking. And I've got a daughter somewhere that I gave up for adoption, and if she ever hears about it, maybe she'll follow in her mother's footsteps.
Oh, nice one. Is the dad Indiana?
Of course.
Lovely. And Allie?
No, the dad's Arizona.
Arizona Jones? I like that.
Yes.
Perfect.
When my mother and father hear the news, it just breaks them. They're elderly. And my father dies 2 days later, and my mother a week after that. But Hortensia, who up till this point hasn't had much direction in life, she investigates and she gets drawn into this world of supernatural creatures and has quite a future in front of her, but that's a tale for another time.
Okay, beautiful. Lovely. Well, it was so fun playing with y'all. Y'all are great investigators. Yeah. Really wonderful. And
that was fun.
Yeah, I didn't know the scenario that well, but I felt more comfortable making things up as it got violent for some reason. So hopefully we did all right with it. But y'all are awesome. Thank you. And of course, everyone on Twitch who's kind of giving us a chance, because this is just our second stream. Thanks for hanging in there with us. Tell people to watch video on demand, because this will be available on demand for people to watch. And I know, Owen, you said you don't do any social media or have anything to promote, but Rena and Michael, remind us one more time where people can follow your work.
All right, so I'm Rena. You can find me on Twitter at Snarky Romulan, Snarky_Romulan. I'm on there quite a bit. You can also find me lurking around Discord on the Ain't Slayed Nobody server and the How We Roll server, the Good Friends of Jackson Elias servers, and the Old Way podcast server as Romulan Rena across all those servers. And I've got the upcoming arc, Mr. Corbett, with Ain't Slayed coming up pretty soon. I've got an arc on the Dungeons & Dragons podcast, The First Watch, coming up fairly soon. Keep an eye out for that. And keep an eye on my Twitter for some announcements about some other fun things that I've got in the works.
Awesome.
So,
wonderful.
She's so busy. She's amazingly busy. I'm Michael Diamond. I'm the keeper of the Old Ways podcast. You can find me on Twitter at Diamond_writing. You can follow the Twitter account for the show, and that's 5Ws Podcast. There's kind of a long form secret about why that's our Twitter handle. No one's guessed it yet, but they will someday. You can find us on our own Discord server, and then obviously we're running Masks of Nyarlathotep right now as our main storyline. So I look forward. If you're interested in Masks, maybe you don't have a crew or the time to play it yet. You're free to jump in with us and come along for the ride, because things are about to get real wild.
Awesome, fantastic. And if you don't know Ain't Slayed Nobody, it's probably because you're a fan of one of these fine players. But you can find our podcast on any platform as Ain't Slayed Nobody, or we are Ain't Slayed on Twitter, Facebook, basically anywhere that you would look for people. I'm Cuppy Cup on Twitter. I don't tweet that much about gaming yet, but Ain't Slayed, I tweet a lot there. So check it out. Unland is coming September 22nd. That's a scenario with Scott Dorward keeping, and we played with some of the players from How We Roll, including, well, it was Joe and Owen. I've seen Owen spelled more ways in the last month than I had ever imagined. You could spell Owen. So thank you again, everyone participating. Give us feedback on how we can make these streams better. Other than me preparing, I know that'll help. And thank you, Rena, Michael, and Owen. It was great fun. Lots of fun.
Yeah. It's great. I got to go insane for once.
All right. Perfect.